Everything in this universe has a beginning. The Big Bang. The formation of nebular matter into stars and planets. The first collections of amino acids in the Earth's oceans. The first creatures to leave them. The first mammals. The first primates that walked upright. The first religion. The first printing press. And ultimately, the first synthesizer. Robert A. Moog created the first practical, playable instrument way back in the late 60s. And no matter how powerful the synthesizers of our day, nothing comes close to that lovely, warm and organic sound of a Moog synthesizer. Here is an example for you to ponder.
Hello, couldn't find the camera then. Hello, welcome. It's Warhammer Sunday. Now, hopefully, I've not screwed up this time and you've actually got sound and audio and I sound alright and I look alright. So let me know in the comments. Yeah, bring back the test card, damn it, says Chris. Yes, thank you very much. Let me know if I've got audio and video okay, if it's gone wrong, because last week it all went to pot. Amazingly not this time, says James. Welcome to Warhammer Sundays. It's yet another Sunday where I've misjudged the temperature completely. Forgot to open my window. Now I can't get to it because the camera's in the way and it's 1 trillion degrees. So yes, lovely. I don't know. Had the heating on this morning and everything. I don't know. Anyway, welcome all. If you have not seen one of these before, this is Warhammer Sundays, where I will work on my Warhammer army, the unending forces of the Holy Contrivance. My Mobile Suit Gundam Principality of Zeon themed Warhammer Imperial army. And I just, at weekends, during the week I do my normal stuff and at weekends I work on my army, so it's just a chance for us to hang out and have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a chat. You guys get to hang out with each other in the chat while I work, rather than me just sit on my own. You get to have me in the background while you're painting your bits and bobs. And that's kind of it really. We hang out, we do chat, we give away some stickers and things, and we do some prize giveaways. This week as always we've got the mystery, no we haven't, we've got the Wheel of Giveaways. Forgotten what everything's called now. We've got the Wheel of Giveaways. Don't forget last week's prize, and I'll show you in a minute. We need to pick a winner for that today, and we need to pick a new giveaway for this week. So if you've not watched one of these before, very quickly I'll go through all the opening blurb that I always do. It's a live stream where you get to hang out and in the chat and have a good time. If you're watching this anywhere where you can't see the live chat, I know there's a live chat here, you can see it on the telly there, but there's also the YouTube live chat where that's coming from. If you're not able to access that or take part in that, just click on the little YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner down here somewhere. And that will take you to the YouTube page where you can actually see the live chat and you can join in. You've got to be in it to win stickers and goodies and things like that. And I do depend on my friends in the chat to give me things to talk about for the next 3 hours. So I'm counting on you guys. As always, we do have the Stream Boss Battle. I seem to have a light missing somewhere. Oh no, everything's normal. We do have the Stream Boss Battle, which is up here. The current Stream Boss is follower and patron Aviad Madar. who has health is down to 85,314. If you don't know what that is, Stream Boss starts out with 100,000 health, and everybody who's watching has to knock their health down bit by bit and chip away at it till it gets to 0. Whoever becomes the new Stream Boss wins 200 to 300 quid's worth of Warhammer stuff of their choice. So all Games Workshop stuff of their choice, basically. They say, you win that budget, and I order it and buy it for you. So there you go. How do you do it? Well, basically dead easy. If you want to take Aviad's health down, he's the current Stream Boss, you can either, if you're not already, just subscribe to this channel. If you subscribe, it takes a little bit of his health off, and hit the little notification bell as well. Also means you get to keep up to date with what's going on the channel. You can do a super chat if you're watching and you've got access to the chat and you want to do a question, something like that. Then you can do a super chat, which is the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. Do a super chat on there. It puts it up in a big coloured box, so I can't possibly miss your question. Gives me an audio response, so I know you've done something. And also it puts a little bit of money through, so it takes a little bit of his health off. And last of all, if you want to, you can go to the tip jar, which is down here. streamlabs.com/model making guru. Put a tip through. And again, that will take some of Aviad's health off. Now, the bigger your tip, or the more you put through on a super chat, the more of his health you'll take off. Keep in mind as well, Aviad can also put his health back. He can boost his health by putting tips and super chats through himself, so he might mess with you. You never know. Now, it's going to take a few weeks, but as I say, whoever gets him down to 0 and does that final death blow will actually win. Typically, it's about 200 to 300 quid's worth of stuff, so of your choice. So it's worth playing along. Right, let's have a look and see what we're doing. It's a bit dark in the area today. I've not got my camera. Let me see if I can boost the brightness a little bit for you, because it's a little bit grim dark there, which is appropriate for the Warhammers, but not for the people watching. See if we can put the brightness up a little bit. Nuclear holocaust. There we go. Is that better? Can you see things now? There we go. Right. So let's have a quick look at chat and see who we've got in. As always, there's a whole swath of reprobates in there. Quick shout out, I know he hasn't sent me anything to say this, but I know it anyway. Shout out to George Flaughter, who's one of our regulars, who's actually got married this weekend. If you have access to the Patreon Discord server, he's actually posted a couple of really nice and sweet pictures up in there of the wedding itself. So it's very nice. It looks very Hawaiian. I don't know if he's gone to Hawaii to get married, I can't remember, but he looks very nice. The tear in my eye and everything. So congratulations, George, on having an awesome weekend and an awesome honeymoon. So who do we have in? We have Ghost Lyle, Weebadoodles, Adam Clark, welcome all. Ghost Lyle, Pineapple, of course. William Rayborn, welcome, good morning. James Lorimer is in, welcome, dude. Mike Hornsey, Nate Bliss, welcome. Pascal Leaverse is in as always. Des24242424, hello there, welcome Des24242424. Let's have a look. Who else have we got in? Model Making Guru, he's in. Don't know who that is. Some spoon or other. Andy Butcher's in. Hey all, welcome Andy. We have Nate Bliss. Did I say Nate Bliss? Well, I've said it now. Jamie Bone is in. Welcome, Jamie. More than welcome as always. Who else have we got in? William Wilms is in. Indeed, he says. I don't know what he was talking about. I missed that. Chris from Gross Models is in. He's one of your mods for today. You guys don't need modding anyway. You look after yourself. As always, this isn't like the e-model stream. You can say rude words and be a bit raucous in the chat. I don't actually care. My monetization for this depends on what I say in the video, not what you say. So pretty much most things go in the chat. Just don't do politics and religion and racism and stuff like that. I don't mind rude words and boisterous joviality. That's all fine. We're all grown-ups here, so carry on. Let's have a look. Wayne Hayward made it. Hi all, welcome Wayne. Adam Clark, hello Interzone 88. G'day bro, welcome. In the middle of winter, or middle of summer now, or spring, aren't you, in Australia land. Rustin Customs, hey Fox, welcome Rustin Customs Models. Davey UK, good afternoon Fox and everyone, welcome Davey. I'm sure I was only talking to you like about 6 hours ago. It's almost like it was just yesterday. Who else have we got in? Krista Pyro and Mickey Elliott, welcome. Ferrix is in, welcome Ferrix. Speedy Q8, dude. Thy Creator, hi Fox, hi guys, hi Thy Creator. And I think that's up to date on the chat. Now, just as well they don't need modding. I'm not a very good mod, says Chris. Yeah, you can just misses a lot of stuff. Ferric says, hello mate, thanks for hearing my comment last time. Hearting my comment. I've come to ask, is it an Airbrush? Wow, good. Hang on. Just move all this crap out of the way. It's enormous coffee time. Sorry. I need to... There we go. I can't even speak yet. We've been going for 5 minutes. I'm already talking absolute nonsense. Right, let me just get the 3 litres of coffee out of my moustache. And then you tear the tissue, and the tissue rips down the middle. Fantastic. Ugh. Right. Ferric says, hello mate, thanks for hearting my comment last time. I've come to ask, is an airbrush kit any good for a first timer getting into it? If you mean by airbrush kit, if you mean like you go onto Amazon and you see like a compressor and an airbrush available for sale, and it's like $50 or $60 or something like that, I would say the compressor's probably fine for a beginner, especially if it comes with a small tank of air, because it's just a bit better if it's got a tank of air, even if it's a little one. You're probably fine if it's one of these little 50, 60 quid kits. You're probably fine with the compressor, but you can throw the airbrush away pretty much, or you can just keep it for really crappy spraying, like spraying horrible noxious stuff. And the airbrush will be terrible more often than not, but the compressor will do you just fine to start with. I would say if you've got the budget for it, you can go for one of those kits to get yourself a nice cheap compressor. It will last you a year or two. It'll be fine. Keep the airbrush for a scruffy airbrush that you're never going to use, and then look at a proper decent beginner airbrush, something like the Neo for Iwata. I've got the, hang on, let me grab it here. I've got the Iwata Neo. Now I've got the trigger version, but there is one with the button on the top. I just prefer the trigger because I can't do button ones. The Neo for Iwata is about between 50 and 80 quid, so don't know what that is in dollars or wherever you are. I'm assuming where you are, of course. You could be in Britain for all I know. The Neo for Iwata. There's also some really good Badger starter brushes. I'm not familiar with the Badger one. There's a few sort of the low budget starter Iwata brushes. You don't really need to go as far as your harder and Steenbeck brushes just yet. What I tend to say is, when you're starting out, don't go for all the super expensive stuff, because you might not like airbrushing and you've just spent 300 quid on all the kit. You've just spent 300 quid on all the kit of something you're never going to use. So start off cheap and cheerful. Like I say, get yourself one of those compressor kits is fine. Throw the airbrush away, you don't need it, or keep it for, like I say, keep it for primer and stuff like that, or spraying really horrible stuff that you're never going to worry about. Just keep it as a backup. Get yourself a decent beginner airbrush. Get into it. If you don't like it, you've not spent a vast fortune. Once you're confident and you've got there and you're happy and you like doing what you're doing with the airbrush, then you can start investing in a better airbrush and a better compressor. The learning curve, I always say, for airbrushing is steep but quick. There's a lot to learn. That you'll learn it very quickly, but it seems like there's a lot to learn, and you'll be like, it's like a cliff. It's very steep, but it's very quick. You'll learn it very fast, and you'll learn very quickly if it's for you or not. So don't spend a fortune out the gate. But yeah, if you do get one of them kits, don't keep the airbrush. It'll be terrible. The one thing that makes life worse if you're learning to airbrush is using a piece of kit that makes it harder. So a crappy airbrush is a bad idea. So go for any Iwata or a Badger. The Spraycraft are also very good ones. Spraycraft are basically made in the same factory as Iwata, so they're just as good. So go for some of the budget ones. Now, I need to blow my nose. Oh, excuse me. Beyblade Master says, can't watch tonight, I'm sick and have reviews tomorrow. Night lads, have fun. Oh, sorry dude, hope you feel better tomorrow. But thanks for popping in and saying you can't pop in. As always, I turn the camera on and I get a sniffly nose. Jonathan T is in. Notice how I abbreviate that now. I've learned. Jonathan T is in. Morning guys, he says. Mickey Elliott, good afternoon all, welcome. Let's have a look. Some people have popped in. Chat just jumped. How is everyone this chuffing cold Sunday, says Speedy Curate. It's actually really hot in here. We had the heating on overnight, and I'd realised this morning, this lunchtime, I didn't need the heating on, so I turned it off, but of course the house is really warm now. Aged Pasta is in. Nice comfy way to start the fall season. Aged Pasta, that's a good name. Raging Bassist, hey up dudes, welcome. Earl D, ooh, Morty is on the bench, yes. Jeff Longman, greetings programs. Good afternoon, sir. Chris the Pyro says, I've never used an airbrush, but the trigger ones just seem like they will be easier to use, but that could just be the airbrushes with the little nub thingy confuses me. It's entirely personal choice. I'm just going to pull the airbrush out again without pulling everything off the desk. I just find, let me move Morty out of the way. Hang on, just you go over there. Messy dude. I just find, because I can't bend the end of my finger. You notice my fingers are a kind of funny shape at the end. It's not because I'm like deformed or anything. It's just that I can't bend the end of my fingers. They don't naturally bend. I can bend them, but they don't automatically, like you can do that. I have to put a finger and bend it. I can't do that. So for me, doing a button, my finger is like that, and it cramps and gets really painful really quick. So I find a trigger much better, because this is my personal preference, but if I want that much paint, I can hold this and I can just go, and years of playing Xbox, means that I can put my finger there and I can very, very gently lock my finger in place just by tensing my muscles a little bit. And I can keep that much paint coming out. No matter how I wiggle my hand around and move it around, my finger isn't moving from that trigger. It's not going forward or backwards. If you've got a button and you want a specific amount of paint, you have got trigger locks on the back where you can lock it. But say you've got the trigger pulled halfway and you've got just about the right amount of paint and you want to keep that amount of paint, all it requires is one wiggle of the finger and you've suddenly put more or less paint on. And I just find that really hard to keep a constant flow. Now obviously these are the rarer, you get more button airbrushes, and a lot of people prefer the button ones. If you can bend the end of your fingers then you're probably fine. I just find this much better. And if you've got things like arthritis in your hand, or limited mobility in your hand, or limited grip, or you've got poor grip strength or anything like that, you might find this easier because you can rest a finger on there. You can just use your middle finger, because I use that as a trigger finger on the Xbox, and it's just dead gentle and you're comfortable here. I can spray with this for hours on end, no problem. The only discomfort I get is when I touch the compressor with my leg and it burns. It's because it's really hot. I don't get cramps, but if I use a normal button airbrush for about 5 minutes, I get cramps. So it's personal preference. They are more expensive if you get a trigger on it there. The Neo itself is about 60 or 70 quid, with the trigger is about 80 quid. So yeah, you pay a bit more money, but there you go. But yes, if you are trying to learn to use airbrush and you're finding it's really uncomfortable with the button... Oh, hello, what was that? AlMonkey1 has subscribed. Thank you very much, AlMonkey, for your subscription. Don't forget to click the little notification bell so you can get notified when stuff goes up. And as you can see, it probably popped a little bit of health down off Aviad as well. He's gone down a little bit now. So there you go. So thank you for subscribing. Yes, if you're learning to airbrush and you are not really feeling the comfortability of the button on the top, have a think about a trigger brush. They are more expensive, but they're much more comfortable. Is the kit, Ferric says, is the kit airbrush any good for top coat with floor polish? If you do go for a kit and it gets the crappy brush, it's usually like a Chinese knockoff. It might be alright, but you'll find the build quality is not up to par with a proper airbrush. So the nozzle might not be lined up properly, the needle might not line up in the nozzle and you get funny spray patterns. The seals may not last very long, or they're not very well engineered, so you have trouble getting paint through. Generally, I'd keep it for things like you just want to get some primer on something really quick and it doesn't really matter. Or I wouldn't use it for a gloss coat, because with a gloss coat you've got to control any kind of gloss or matte varnishes. You want to control how much paint you're getting through and you want a nice smooth coat, so I wouldn't use it for that. But if you've got something like I say, primers, or you want to get a lot of stuff on something quickly, and it doesn't worry if it's a bit messy and splatty, because what you tend to find is if things aren't lined up properly, it's a cheap production, you might get splatty paint and blobs, and that's just what it just looks terrible. So keep that airbrush as an absolute backup spare for worst case scenarios, and just use it for things that you wouldn't really want to put through your expensive airbrush. Jumped again, hang on. Team Inept says, question, who am I? You are the one with the all-seeing eye. That will be Paul from Team Inept. Hello, Paul. Or it could be Chris. I don't know. Chat, don't help him or I'll ban you. Yes, Paul is in as well. He's another one of your mods. He's the if you know wow, words. If you know Team Inept, it's me, Chris and Paul do Team Inept, where we do video gamey stuff, and I haven't had a chance to do any of it for ages and we're a bit slack on it. But I made Chris a mod in here, and then I made Paul a mod as well, and then instantly regretted it. But that's the circle of life, isn't it? Let's have a look. Raging Bassist. I've been busy painting my Nolzur's Marvellous Miniatures for my D&D group. I've also started college again. Cool. I'm surprised by how many of you are actually sort of young and in college and stuff. Mike Hornsey says Team Inept is Phil Flory. Oh, I don't know. There might be a face now. It might be a face response to that. Have this airbrush, it's great, says Mike Lavecchio. Is that the Neo? I do love the Neo. It's so simple. If you're just starting out, I mean, I can only speak to this because I've got one and I used it. I've used the Neo, I've used I've used the Revolution, I've used a De Vilbis dagger, and I've used a Spray Max or Spar Max or Spraycraft, whatever, a little cheaper one. That was quite good. I just love this because it's dead simple. I mean, it's just so simple. I mean, with a button, it's easier to clean because you can strip. I'd never try stripping the trigger mechanism out, so if that ever gets blocked with paint, I'm a bit screwed. But cleaning it's a doddle. I just love it. I love my airbrush. 0.35mm nozzle, and as you can tell, I use the thing that my camera is attached to is also the rack that I put my airbrush on, so every time I put it away it wobbles. What's happening in chat? Like and subscribe, says Gross Models. Earl D, do you buy your mod scooters with loads of mirrors? I've no idea what everybody's talking about now. I'm 35 and doing it part-time, and you're a girl like that once. He doesn't even buy us biscuits. You don't get paid for this, you know, this modding. I hate to break that to you. Yes, I bought it after I watched your review. Oh, cool, says Mike. Yes, it is a really nice airbrush. I did get the 0.5 nozzle kit for it, which gives you a 0.5 head unit and nozzle, and you get some 0.5mm needles for things like primers and stuff, because I thought I might need them and to get bigger coverage. But for some reason, whenever I use it, I always get sputtery spray. The spray is like pulsing, and I don't know why, because it's a good compressor, so I don't know why I get that. I need to investigate that a bit. Right, anyway, so, yes, enough nonsense. What are we doing today? Well, I'm kind of spoilt for choice today, because let's give you an update. I am working on my Mortarian, as you can see here, my lovely, lovely Mortarian. He's been primed in Chaos Black, and then I've dropped him, which is brilliant. And yesterday I airbrushed some Death Guard Green all over him, because I went to prime him, and I would have primed him Death Guard Green with the Rattle kind of Death Guard Green primer. But I didn't have any, and I couldn't afford any at that point, so I was like, well, what I'll do is I'll prime him in black, because I've got loads of that, and I'll airbrush some Death Guard Green over him, because I've got 2 pots of that. So I did that yesterday. A video did go up yesterday for how to spray with Citadel paints. Now, it's not Patreon exclusive, but it's in early access, so at the moment, Patreon supporters can access it until next Saturday, when it gets released to everybody. If you're not familiar, most of the videos I do, they go up in early access a week before for Patreon supporters to watch without any adverts, and then after a week they go released to everybody else with adverts in them. So a little video on how to do this has gone up yesterday. Also the day before, on Friday, I put up the first episode of the Strike Rouge Uotori Gundam build, which, if you've not seen it so far, I have painted and assemblated the inner frames. Not for the Otori backpack, but just for the Strike Rouge. This is now all metalliced up and looking nice and shiny, and that's coming along nicely. It's got gloss primer on there. It's got Vallejo acrylic metal colour steel, which is 77712, and then it's been covered over with the C1 metallizer, and there's no gloss coat on that. It's just bare C1 metallizer, so it's going to be minimal handling. So that's been done. It's all glued and fixed in place, although the legs are attached and arms are attached very loosely, because they can be removed still. They're not fully fixed in place yet. So that's been done. So that episode has gone up again. That went up on Friday. That's in early access for patrons right now, and then it'll be up next Friday for everybody else. So stay tuned. I'm back in the zone now. I've had a few people wondering, you know, why I've not been doing films and videos and stuff. And I've had to say a few times over the last couple of months, it's just been a case of, because it's been summer and really hot, it's been too hot in the workroom to do any filming. I've been able to work little bits and do these Sunday shows, but not for more than a few hours. But to get any proper filming and work done, it's too hot. And of course, Mama Fox has been poorly ill for the last couple of months, so I've not really had time to do any work. So hopefully I'm back into the thing of it now. So stay tuned. Yeah, so we've got Mortarian here. He's got the base colours on, or just rather the Death Guard Green. I've got his little Nurglings. I painted them Death Guard Green just purely so I can see all the detail on them, because when they were black it was hard to see what's what. And I've got to tell you, these Nurglings, if you don't know what a Nurgling is, if you've never seen a Nurgling before, let me zoom in for you. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Hang on. This could go horribly wrong. Where's the zoom? There it is. Why do I not get much? For some reason, whenever I do a live stream, I get minimal zoom. If I do another live stream, I get loads of zoom. I don't know why I don't get much zoom. Let me hold them up for you. There we go. Let's focus on that instead then. There we go. So you've got little Nurglings. Again, it's just a base coat of the Death Guard Green for now. Little tiny dude. He's on there. Oh, Simon Chen, subscribe. Thank you very much, Simon. Don't forget to press the little notification bell so you can be updated as to what's going on. You've taken a little bit of Aviad's health off as well. I've got this little dude here carrying a big barrel, and I like him because he's got like a gas mask and then a trunk with teeth in the end of it, which is kind of adorable. And a horn, a single horn, and a bare butt. I've got to paint demon butt now. I don't quite feel how I feel about that. So little Nurglings. I do like these little Nurglings. They're so adorable. There's a couple of flying ones, little cheruby ones. This guy here, I like his horns. He's got a gas mask and a tube with a rebreather on the back there, and his little floaty cherub with his big horns, and they've got like a cowl on as well. He's carrying a little sensor thing. And there's a little wee fella here. What's this one? This one is a little wee fella, again carrying a sensor, and I need to look at his face closely with the proper magnifier, because I can't quite tell what's going on with his face. I need to look at a painted one to see what exactly he's doing. So he's floating around. So I've got those little dudes. And I also painted the wings ready, and I painted them. They were primed in, let me go back out of focus again, because I'm all zoomed out and in the wrong place now, aren't I? Oh. Where are we? Focus. Right, let me focus for you. Hang on. This is what I use to focus sometimes. It's quite handy. Ready? There we go. These were primed in the Ultimate Modelling Products Grey Primer, and then painted, airbrushed with the ceramite white. While I had the airbrush out yesterday, I ceramite whited those ready. So that's that. I could start with him, but I want to actually film this paint job. There was one of my followers, Derek Gutowski, quite a while ago, asked me if I would film this paint job because he's got one and he wanted to know how to do it. So I'm going to film as best I can. My plan is that during the week I'm working on my Gumplers. Then on Saturday I'll work on filming Warhammer stuff, like things like this. And then Sunday is Warhammer Sundays. That's my plan. So for things like this, it may take a while to get individual episodes, because obviously if I've only got one day during the week to film, I mean, if I'm doing something on a gunpla and I'm waiting for things to dry, I can get some filming somewhere. So I'm doing it. I'm going to film him being built and painted. I don't think I'm going to touch him today. I'm just going to put him to one side, out of the way, for the safety. But yeah, these little nurglings, they're so adorable. I've got a paint nurgling butt. Oh, there's a nurgling just caught on the camera there. Little bugger. Get off my camera. What else have we got? I was working on my Taurox last week, and this has now been primed and is ready. So everything on the Taurox is assembled. Let's pour it out. There we go. So you can see now we've got the Taurox here with the wheels. Everything's primed. Again, it's the UMP Grey Primer. That's all primed and ready. Looking rather mint with its... I can zoom in a little bit. Let's have a look. Hang on. Yeah, not giving me a lot of zoom. That's all primed and ready. I added some extra little details to it. Let's have a look and see what we did. I added some from the Tempesta Sounds pack. I had a load of the las rifles in like in a leather. What do you call the thing? It's like a pack that the rifle goes in, like the leather wrap that goes around it because they're stowed. So I've got a few of them. I've got one stuck on each side, a couple on there. There's a hammer on there. I put a couple of backpacks from the Scions kits on the back. What else did I do? I added a couple of hooks, which I think were left over from a Lehman Russ. They've been added onto the front. I'm sure I did something else. I did some handles, these little grab handles there, and on the bonnet. Again, they're from a Lehman Russ, spares from a Lehman Russ, and there's one on each door. I did them on the bonnet because I remember looking at old vintage cars and they always have a handle on the bonnet, so I assume it opens like scissor action that way, you see, so that's why I did that. I like to think of these things logically. I also added some more rifles on the back here, stowed rifles. I added a stowage crate from just a box of spares I had, and I added some plastic card leather strips, which I carefully designed them to have a little bit of a buckle there and then the strip sticking up. So a little bit of extra custom work. I just like to put it, I put that box on there and I thought, well, it wouldn't just sit there, they'd have to like attach it with something. So that's been attached with those sort of fake faux leather strips. What else did we do? I added to the bull bar on the front, I added a rolled up tarp. Ooh, move that out of the way. I did a rolled up tarp, which is like a bedroll or something, or a big like camouflage net. It's actually just a piece of toilet tissue rolled up very tightly, tied with string underneath here, so it gets the kind of rolled up tarp effect, and then cut at the edge, cut at the ends off, so it's that long. And then I bought some plastic card to make again some leather strips, which I actually put on upside down, so the strips, and if you can see it, the strip sticks up at the bottom there by accident, but it doesn't matter. There's like a buckle in it. It doesn't matter. So that will go on the front. So that's all primed and ready. We've got the dude that sits in the turret. He can go in there. We then have, there's the dude that goes inside. He'll be kept outside and painted separately. He's separated there so I can paint the, I need to put the bottom in, then the steering wheel, and then the top half. So he's kept separate at the moment. The top goes on there like that. And this will just loosely sit on top when I'm playing. I've got the top removable so that I can take it off for storage and transport, and also so I can show off the inside. That will sit on the front. That will sit on the front. And now we have our Taurox. Now, you'll notice it's got wheels and not tracks. I can't remember who was it called? Death and Skulls? Death and Blood? Blood and Skulls? It might be Blood and Skulls. I got the resin wheel kit for Blood and Skulls, I think it was. and I've added those wheels. And the kit itself, like I've shown you before, it is, I'll just take this off, hang on. The kit itself is 6 wheels, and you get these little, this little crossbar here and a little crossbar here. That is the bit the wheel goes on underneath. You just glue it to the plastic. This is part of the kit, and this is the resin part. You just glue it to the kit part and then stick the wheel on. I did goof a little bit because I've got a nice camber on the front wheels. Although I kind of think it looks a little bit funny. It's got a kind of comedy effect to it, so I don't mind that. I glued the little attachment points on a little wonky, so as long as they're symmetrical, I'm quite happy with that. Maybe it's cambered for extra grip or something like that. And when I put these wheels on, the bar that goes on here wasn't straight. So this wheel was higher up than this wheel. But because it's resin, that's very easily fixed. All I did was I heated up this crossbar with the wheel glued to it, heated up the crossbar and bent it down a bit. So now if you look at that there, you can see that bit isn't straight. It actually bends up a bit. It kind of goes like that. But that's fine because nobody can see it and the wheels look straight now. So there you go. So there's the beauty of resin, you can warm it up and reshape it. So I wasn't too worried when they didn't line up. Because the problem is you're gluing these on with super glue to the resin axle points. And you're thinking, well, if it was a model kit, it'd all line up. But of course, it's dependent on whether you glue these bars on straight. You want all the wheels to be lined up so it's not going like this. But I knew if I needed to, I could heat up these axle parts and bend them a bit. So if you are to get one of these kits, don't worry if your wheels are wonky. You can just carefully bend these into shape. So I've got a choice. I could crack on with painting this. Or I'll just put those back in there. So that's ready for the painting to begin. Or I could, because I started doing them last night, I could start trying to figure out painting my AdMech, because I've got all my Adeptus Mechanicus dudes, my Skitari ranges. I've got all them to paint. Now they're not particularly complicated paint job for the majority of it, because it's mostly I'm just going to do like I've got they've been sprayed with the lead belcher spray. They've had a wash of Nuln Oil. So all that's left to do on these, let me move them out of the way so you can see. All that's left to do on these guys now is really just paint the cowl and the coat, which will be a colour, and then some other metallic details on the backpacks and bits and bobs, and some bits on the weapons. So there's not a lot to do on these guys. So I don't know whether to start working on them today. But I haven't decided what colour to paint them. Now, if you know your Warhammer, AdMech are red, because they're from Mars. So they're all sort of metallic colours and the outfits are red. However, remember, this is a Principality of Xeon themed army, if you know your Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm going to have a green, a blue and a red Imperial Knight. I'm going to have I've had a squadron of Space Marines who are all in Zaku colours. They're all greens. I don't know what colour to make these guys. I could just go for the bog standard red, but then that's just normal AdMech colours, and I want to make it something slightly different. So I'm not really sure what colour to paint them. So I'm going to think about that for a moment. So I've got a choice now. I can work on the Taurox and it's just getting the base colours on, or I can work on the AdMech and that'll be fiddly painted. So I'm not sure. So I'm going to have a think about it while we're seeing what's in the chat. So let's see what the chat is doing. Raging Basis says, Fox out, check out your local B&M. They have a butt ton of hot sauce gift packs in the Christmas stuff. I was in B&M yesterday. I didn't notice that. I was buying mixing cups, paint mixing shot glasses. What's chat doing? Oh, Dad's in. Mike Mountain's in. Hey, Dad. Dad's in. Dad's another mod. Dad's dead nice. Everybody likes Dad. Everybody loves Dad. Nimcinder in. Hey, dudes. Just popping in and saying hi while I'm stuck at my aunt's birthday brunch. Oh, it's food. Just make most of the food. Nimcinder just got here so far. Nothing, but supposedly the banana bread pancakes are good. Oh, yeah. Green, then officers can be red, says Richard Gibbs. Ooh, possibly. Is a butt ton an actual measurement, says Chris at Gross Models. Yes, it's an imperial measurement. It's like a shitload. It's the kind of, there's all other variants that I won't say out loud. The proportions of that thing are a little funky, says Mike Lavecchio. Yes, you should see it with the actual tracks. It comes with tracks. I don't like it with tracks. Kenneth will be like shouting at me now, but I don't like it with tracks. I think the tracks look goofy, so I put wheels on it. But yeah, it's got the kind of South African riot control vehicle look to it. Into Zone 88 says germs. I don't know why. It's like a demon Dumbo. Well, that's going back to the Nurglings, isn't it? Jeff Longman, looking ahead to next summer, time to start raising funds for a Foxx workroom aircon unit. It's the UK, we don't do aircon. We'd use it for like 2 weeks a year. Although I've just spent weeks and weeks and weeks with it being too warm in here. It's not something we do, really, in the UK. Plus, there's nowhere to put one in here anyway. But yeah, we really wouldn't use it enough throughout the year. That's the problem. Right, coffee time. What else have I missed in chat? Not enough eating of your biscuits. That's what's wrong, says Spid. The quadrophenia joke flew past Fox like a scooter doesn't. I didn't spot a quadrophenia joke. Fox, what happened to your dagger? Oh, my dear, my De Vilbis dagger airbrush. It started developing some spray problems, and at that point I wasn't experienced enough to know what was wrong with it, so I put it away and bought my Neo instead. And I've just never gone back to it really. It's probably I probably just need to clean it out properly, or maybe the needle got a bit bent, perhaps. But I don't know. I don't know. And at that point, I wasn't really sure, so I just kind of panicked and bought a new airbrush instead. Yeah. Everybody's saying hello to Frankie. That means that Frankie's coming somewhere. Frankie goes to Hobbywood. Hi, everybody. Welcome, dude. You could potentially do a grey and light green scheme like on the Gelgoog. Ooh. Let me have a quick look at Gelgoog. Hang on, let me quickly Google a Gelgoog. I'm going to do it now. Gelgoog. In fact, no. Why don't I not do it there? Why don't I do it here? Why don't I do it here so you can see what I'm doing? Bring the iPad over there. There you go. iPad, can you see it? There you go. Gelgoog. This is where I have to hope something doesn't pop up in my search chat window. Gelgoog. If anything pops up in here in the chat window, I know nothing about it. I'm just denying everything. Images. Oh, okay. Ooh. Interesting. I know you can't really see that, can you guys? There's the light blues and there's a light blue and grey scheme. Interesting. Because I'm gonna have the Tempestus Scions are gonna be in red, I think. So I don't want to go for red. I've got my Space Marines in greens, like Zaku greens. So I need something for these guys. It's really just the cowl and the coat. Yeah, so maybe a green. Maybe a light green. Huh, okay. That could work, that could work. Thank you for the hint. Just get rid of that. Thank you. Was that ex-hamster? Says Richard Gibbs. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Okay, well if we do agree, if I do a light green colour, what have we got? Well, I've got lots of other paints, but I'll just see what I've got here in front of me. I've got Strachan Forest. That may be an interesting colour. I've got Lauren Forest and Castellan Green. They're a bit dark. I don't want to go that dark. I have a Elysian Green. Perhaps. Actually, I'm not sure. That's two of those colours where you're not quite sure which one's lighter. It's actually that one that comes out lighter. Perhaps, because I mean, normally these guys are bright red, so maybe having them bright green is kind of interesting. Maybe. What do we think? Those kind of colours? Maybe that colour is a base and this is the highlight. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the Elysian Green, which is a kind of more warmer colour, or do you prefer the Strachan Green, which is a lighter, paler colour? Tell me in chat which one you prefer. Light or I'll just say light or dark. What's that Gundam hentai, Fox? Ooh, did anyone else see that? No. Warhamster, that's what we are here for. This is Chris. I'll see what other greens I've got. Let me have a look in my tin of paints. I have all my paints in tins. Let's have a look and see what we've got. We have got War Boss Green. Nurgling Green. Karsnick Green. Death World Forest. Of course I've got Death World Forest. Of course I have Death World Forest. So I don't know which one now. So you could do... I could do War Boss Green and then Skarsnik Green as a highlight, but it'd be very, very bright. Very, very bright. Pale, says Raging Bassist. Or I could do... Karsnick Green with Nurgling Green as the highlight. It's going to be very 1980s pastel colours if I do those two. Elysian green. I don't know how much I've got left. I've got of that. Oh, not that much. Elysian green and no, I'm not sure about Elysian green. I don't want to go for like too militaristically green because I say I've already got like Space Marines that are going to be green, painted green anyway. Ex-Hamster says Earl D, is that the site that you put tributes up for your hamster that's passed on? What do we think? What do we think to Carcinic Green? Dark with radioactive highlight, says Interzone 88. Okay. So you could have... See, I don't want it to look like it's been painted by an idiot that doesn't know what they're doing. I want it to look at least semi-competent. And sometimes a really dark colour with really bright highlights just does not work at all. It just comes out looking like terrible gash. Prefer the more pale one. Parsnip green for the base, says Chris. Thanks, Chris. You could have... It's weird because there's two different colours and my brain's trying to figure out which is the dark one and which is the light one, but it's not as easy as you think with those two because they're kind of weird. Maybe that one. Or I meant like Necron. Oh, okay, I've got you. Like glowy. Glowy. How about Warboss green and Skarsnik green? How about those two? Is that a bit subtle, perhaps? We could have Warboss green, Skarsnik green, and then what's that? Nurgling green for highlights. How about these colours? What do people think of that? What do people think to these three? Give me your feedback on these three colours. How would that work? It's just for the cope and the cowl, basically. I'm tempted for those three, I think. But I'll put those other three there, just out of the way. If any of the issues in this chat have affected you, there is a helpline set up so our experts can assist you. I like those three, says Edgy Pasta. Cool. You could do them white and green and call them Sergeant Emo-Dells. Emo-Dells? Emo-Dells? Don't get it. Emo-Dells. Okay, well I think I'm kind of liking these three. This is where I realise I haven't got enough of one colour now, and it's like, oh, for God's sake. I can always try painting one, and if it doesn't work, I can always strip him down and start again, can't I? There is that. And I'm going to put washes over him anyway, so the first colour will get darker by default. So, let us bring forth all the little fellows. I'll move this this fat-ass vehicle out of the way. Go over there, fat-ass vehicle. Fat-ass truck of happiness. Say it slowly. Emo-Dells. Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. Other model suppliers are available, says Tony Blackwell. Oh, yes. Right. Because there'll also be, obviously, things like lots of metallic colours on these. Most of it is going to be like silvers and bronzes and things. So, let's get these over there. So far, all they've had is, like I say, a coat of lead belcher. I've got this guy to do, the Tech Priest. He's quite interesting. There'll be lots of different colours on there. That'll be a do-it-off-camera job, I think, because that one's lots of fiddly little details. And I will try and make a note of what colours I've used so I can remember to use the same colours next time. I tend to like just crack on and paint stuff and then forget what colours I used. Oi oi, it says Andy McLeish. Very Japanese of you. Oi oi. Right, so, if you get some work done. I know, me getting work done. Not normal, is it? Right. Get the wet palette open. Wet palette. Almost the Simpsons then. Right, I need to find out, do these guys have trouser bobs on their legs? I think they do. They have trouser bobs. So if we're doing the coats and hoods green, what colour should we do the trouser bobs? I am thinking, I'm thinking a dark grey. I'm thinking Mechanica Standard Grey for the trousers and my bobs with a wash of Null Oil to darken them, I think. The Canadian Hawk. What is the giveaway today, says Justin Ackerman. It was the... Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. If you've not watched last week's video yet, last week's giveaway prize is the Canadian BAE Hawk. 148 scale Canadian, eh? It's the Airfix, a vintage Airfix kit, BAE Hawk 100, with 2 different sets of decals for Canada and some other country, and skill level 3, and it's a really nice kit. So this is what's on offer. If you haven't yet put a comment on last week's video, then make sure you get your comment on there in the next sort of half hour or so. We're pulling a winner for that today. And as for what's being given away this week, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. Hey Smoo, Smoo's out. Welcome Shmoo. 88. Aussie decals RAAF. I know. I was just being funny because it's Canada or anything for me. I like Canada. Every other country is just as awesome, but I like to big up Canada all the time. Right, so what I think I'll do, I shall do the pantaloons first, because there are lots of pantaloons to do. They're simple. We'll just get some grey on those. So I need my waterings. I need the brushings. Let's choose a brush. Well, I think for this one we shall be using mostly the regiment brush and also the monster brush. I think 2 of my favourites. I want to use the monster for the legs because they're quite simple and small. What I need to do is, I should be organised really, shouldn't I? I'm all modelled out today, going to fire at the PS3 and play my 1.5 Space Marine game. Cool. Have this on in the background while you're working. Or do what I do, which is have like this kind of thing playing in the background, and then I go and play Elite Dangerous and whiz around the solar system whilst doing things. Right, I had that. Where did I put that paint? Where did I put that? There it is, Mechanica Standard Grey. Give it a shake. Where's my paint dishing out brush? There it is. As always, when you're getting paint from the pot, if you've not got a wet palette, get yourself a wet palette. Shall I move this camera back a bit so you can? No, you want to see me paint, don't you? You want to see me painting, I suppose. If you're new to this show, make yourself a wet palette. There is a video on my channel as to how to make a wet palette. Just go to my channel, click on playlists, and there's a section called How To. Just go in there, and there's a little video that tells you how to make a wet palette. It will make your painting life 1,000 times easier, 1,000 times more fun, and you'll improve your painting skills 1,000,000-fold. Really, that may or may not be an exaggeration. I don't do hyperbole, but when I do billions of them. So, right. So, let us do some painty. I'm going to be really lazy and put it in here. In fact, no, I'll just hold. No, go on, I'll put them in there. I'll put my little holdy thing. I may as well. Oh, sorry, did I just pull the camera then? I've got cables going everywhere and it's all chaos here. Right, where are you guys? Where are you guys? You guys are there. Right, there we go. So, let's get a bit of this going. Now, while I'm painting, Scale Model Vamps in. Welcome, dude. While I'm painting, of course, I'm not able to see what's going on in chat, so apologies if I ignore everybody. I might miss a lot of stuff in chat, so do tell me if I've missed anything. Okay, they've got... this brush is too big. I was watching that very video the other day, says Speedy Correct. Now I'm struggling to make my Plurg Marines look reasonable. Yeah, you get there in the end, dude. You'll get there. Cy Reynolds is in. Welcome, Cy. I've still got your big sticker. Oh, which reminds me, don't forget, of course, giveaways and stickers. I'm still collecting them up and piling them up. I'm skint on my arse at the minute, so I've got a couple of weeks worth of prizes and stickers to send out. As soon as Patreon payday comes, I can go to the post office and get all the stickers and prizes on the way. So I do tend to pile them up till the end of the month. So I've got last couple of prizes and lots of stickers to send out. So if you're waiting for a sticker, don't panic, they just haven't been sent yet. Unless, of course, you're Scale Model Vamp, in which case drop me another email because I don't know where your sticker went. So, Si, I've still got your massive ammo sticker here that I need to send to you. Let's have a look. Vamperoo, says Andy McLeish. Scale Model Vamp, hello, guys. Ooh, have you been watching Weeble and Bob?
Hello, Bob.
Si Reynolds, I did email you my address. I think though, Squire, takes us time, lad. No rush. Drop me another email if you need to. Doesn't matter if I send you 2 stickers. Drop me another email because it doesn't harm. What I do basically is I have my inbox, which is what most of us have for emails. I have an inbox, and when it comes to the time when I need to send stickers out, I have no idea who I need to send what to. So what I tend to do is go through my inbox and say, here's Bob Smith, he needs a sticker, I'll send him a sticker. Here's Ted Johnson, he needs a prize, I'll send him a prize. And I use the inbox mails as my guide to what I need to send out and to who. So, and I do trust you all, so that you're telling me the truth. So yeah, if you just send me another mail site, because then if I come across it and I see I've got the original mail, I'll just know there's a duplicate there and I can ignore it. But if I haven't, then I'll know I need to send you the stickerage. Right. How about pie? Said Andy McLeish. Somebody's been watching Weeble and Bob and gets 10 points for actually knowing who Weeble and Bob are. When come back, bring pie. Pie, 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 pie. If you don't know who Weeble and Bob are, go and Google it. Weeble and Bob are just genius. Now I have to say, painting grey on a metallic colour is actually really quite hard because it's hard to see where you've painted the grey. Plus doing it on camera, so I've got to have my header way away from the model. But I need to start painting dudes on camera at some point for you guys because I've got a lot of dudes to paint and I can't not do them. So I need to get used to it. Dude, it's just my shonky eyesight that's the problem, you see. I have to be a long way away, long way away. They're kind of wearing, these guys are kind of wearing Tintin trousers, +4s, because they've got like the robot legs. So they've got kind of like +4s going on. Which is really... Oh, hello, what was that? That was Tony Blackwell. Insert Sarky comment here. Thank you very much, Tony. Much appreciated. Although it wasn't a comment that I had to read out and embarrass myself. You missed a trick there, dude. So yes, while I'm doing this, of course, I can't see the chat very easily, so do apologise if you miss anything. If you want me to make sure I don't miss your comment, don't forget, of course, you can do a super chat, which gives me an audio ping and puts it up on screen in a big coloured box, so I can't actually see what I'm doing here with this big thing. I don't need this big thing. There we go. Yeah, it gives me an audio noise so I can see what's been typed. So don't forget, of course, just a little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. You can use that for super chat if you want. It's quite hard seeing all these bits to paint. There we go, that's that bit. Okay, that's one. I couldn't think of a comment this week, says Tony Blackwell. Andy McLeish, try by try. Tastes like donkey poop. Must be bad end. Yes, Andy McLeish knows who Weeble and Bob are. You get 10 points. Kick ass. Oh, those Skitari, said someone. Chris the Pirate. Yes, these are Skitari Rangers. Which were very kindly sent to me. Along with an armiger, so thank you very much for that. So I built these up as the Skitari dudes. Wait, were they sent to me or did I buy these? I can't remember now. I think I bought these. I got donated the 45 quid, and the Skitari Rangers just happened to be exactly 45 quid, so I was like, brilliant, thank you, I'll get them. They look kind of mint. So these are the guys from Mars. They're like, they sacrifice their bodies to the Omnissiah, so they imbue their bodies with lots of technological gubbins. So they're kind of cyborgs, really. They look kind of kick-ass. Just can't quite see where the trousers end and their mechanical parts begin, but just on camera. Yes, it's on camera. Just checking. Hey Fox, how do you feel about the Retributor Armor Spray Primer? Is it just as good as the base paint? Says Gio Valderrama. I haven't used it. However, I have had occasion to paint some Age of Sigmar Adeptus Custodes. Is that the guys? The gold guys? I painted some of those at my local Warhammer store that Cam, the manager, had sprayed in the Retributor armor, and they looked really nice. They looked They look really, really nice. It looks like a spray paint. It doesn't look like as... Because when you brush the paint on, you can obviously do funky things to it. So it does look like it's been sprayed, but it's really nice. However, the one thing I did notice was trying to paint over it was a right pain in the bum. I don't know why, but it seems to really kill the surface tension of paints painted over it. So I was trying to paint like blues and things over the Retributor armor, and it was really like the surface tension was pulling the paint apart. I had to do a couple of extra coats. If you're doing a thin coat, it really was struggling a bit. So I thought I might have the same problem with these guys with all the lead belcher spray, but it's fine. Lead belcher's fine. But yeah, it looks nice. Get a wash on it and stuff. Get a nice wash on it. Get a nice Reichland flesh shade, and it looked fantabulous. That's another one. I'm getting faster. Woo! Speeding up now. Speeding up. I do like the rattle can primers they've got. The idea of the coloured rattle can primers. It's a really good idea. I say when I did my Mortarion, if I'd been able to, I would have got myself a bottle of the or a tin of the Death Guard green and just primed him with that. But I didn't have any, and they are expensive. That's the only downside. They are pricey. They're rattle cans. They're not cheap. So I thought, in the end, I thought, screw it. I've got a pot of Death Guard green. I'll just paint it. I'll just airbrush it over the top. I'm having trouble seeing these. Oops. Chris the Parrot. I have still never painted a model. And the McLeish says, Chris, get on it. Dude, it's all the fun. All the fun is painting and weathering. Building stuff is boring. Building models is just breaking news. Foxx a model making guru. Building models is boring. I know. I've always admitted that I've never been one for the actual process of building a model. It actually bores me. Painting a model, on the other hand, that's where the fun times are. Painting and weathering. And I have to thank you guys, because through doing this... Oh, got a wobbly hand there. Through doing this, and being forced to paint tiny things from a distance on camera, I'm actually getting better at painting tiny things from a distance. Which is kind of cool. Although probably when I finish this show and I pull back and I look at these properly, I'll be like, oh god, I missed so much. Oh. But I said right from the start, when these guys go onto the table, they're not going to be display quality. I'm not painting them up as display quality builds. They're being painted up as tabletop quality. I'm just really keen to get these painted and played more than anything else. I'm not fussing too much about that. Now, if I'd been clever, what I would have done is actually painted this and then done the black shade over the metallics as well, but never mind. Yeah. Let's have a look. Simon Reynolds says, emailed you, also chucked in a sticker giveaway question for shiz and giggles. Cool, I'll make sure we do that. I've got email ready to go later on. I don't paint either Chris the Pyro except miniature sims, says Wayne Haywood. The thing is, I know a lot of you guys out there do Gunpla, and Gunpla you don't need to paint. You don't have to paint at all. I mean, anything else really you want to paint, because unpainted models just look sad, and unpainted minis look very sad. But yeah, like Gunpla and stuff, you don't need to paint. I've got to stop sending Fox questions. By the way, I meant to say, swig of coffee. As always, if you watched this show before, you know later on I'll do some sticker giveaways. And the sticker giveaway is that I ask a question, and whoever gets the answer first wins a sticker. You can send me a question and answer to use in that section, and I will send you a sticker if I use that question. Just please make sure to include your name and address in the email, so that I don't have to then mail you and say, thanks, what's your name and address? Because then, if you've got your name and address there, I just know to send you some stickers, because I'll use your question. If you don't, but you don't have to. If you've already got a million stickers and you don't want more stickers, you can just say, I don't need any more stickers, thank you. You can just send me a question and answer for no reward if you so desire. That's entirely up to you. But please include your name and address so I don't have to then mail you and say, thanks guys, where's your name and address? Now if it looks a bit haphazard when I'm painting, it's because I'm painting from a distance in such a way that my hand isn't getting in the way of the camera. So it's quite awkward doing this on camera, I have to say. It's quite strange. And these are quite tiny. Tiny! Beep, 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 beep. So yes, if you want to, send me your question and the answer. And your name and address. And if I use that question, I will send you a sticker. I don't check to see if you give me the correct answer. I assume that you know what you're talking about and that the answer you give me is correct. To my detriment. It's gone wrong a few times, but I assume that you know what you're talking about. Because I certainly don't. I check nothing. I do no work. Right, that's that there. The good thing about painting these legs green is there probably are a few little bits I've missed, but I'm not really fussed because once they've had a dark wash on them, they'll kind of blend in anyway. And any little bits where I might have missed tiny details, it's not the end of the world. You won't really see. I've got a few Gunpla products that need finished painting, specifically a Gerber, a Tetra, and a Kshatriya. Oh yeah, I've got a Kshatriya I need to do at some point. I want to build Ta'au. Yes. There's my ongoing joke. They put an apostrophe in to get around copyright, so I call them the Ta'au now. I want to build Tau Empire, but it costs 385 points for the Supremacy armour on the Games Workshop, or 385 pounds for the Supremacy armour on the Games Workshop website. Does anyone know where I can get it at a lower price as thy creator? What's 385 pounds for a Supremacy armour? Is that? I don't think Games Workshop have it that expensive, do they? Forge World do. Are you on Forge World? Because that's all resin stuff and that's stupid crazy expensive. I mean, Forge World, yeah, you're going to spend a fortune whatever you buy. Good luck with that. Because that's Forge World. I've got some Deathcore Krieg. They're alright. They're not the best mold casts in the world, but then again, it's an old kit now. They're old molds. So, well, they're okay. Am I on camera? Yes, I'm still on camera. Some of the details on my Deathcore are a little bit soft. So I mailed them and said, hey guys, they look really nice, but there's a few little bits where the detail's not quite so hot like on the backpacks. Is this something I can get you to replace? And they went, no, they're just really old now. So that's kind of what they look like. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Because they are old kits now. It's anything that puts me off resin kits when you see them advertised on websites from manufacturers. You look at these beautiful pictures of like what looks like the figure in primer that you're buying, and you think, oh, it looks brilliant. What you're often seeing there is, especially if they're done off a CAD print, oops, brilliant, that's all that paint come off. You're looking at the 3D rendering of it, you're not looking at the actual figure. Or you are looking at the figure, but you have to remember that's one of the first ever printings from the mould, and it'll be off the it won't be off the production mould, it'll be off the whatever, I can't remember what it's called now. There's usually multiple moulds. There's a production mould, which is the one that's used to make the things that you buy, and there's another mould which is made, if I remember right, there's like 3 moulds. This is, I think, how Games Workshop do it. There's 3 moulds. There's the master mould, which is made and then locked away and never makes anything, and that's just a perfect condition master mould left forever. There is the production mould, which is the one that's used to make the model that you buy from Forge World, and then there's a secondary production mould, which I think is the I think that's used just to make like the demonstration models they have, say, at Warhammer World and stuff, and it's a small handful of models are made off that, and then you get yours from the production mold, something like that. Anyway, there's like 3 or 4. 650 on Forge World. On Games Workshop, it's 385. Yeah. You're going to spend that kind of money anyway. You're not going to get it cheaper anywhere else. You might get a bit cheaper, but not massively. Can third-party stores sell Forge World? I don't even know if they can. Unless it's a recast, but then I'd never recommend getting a recast because I don't agree with recasts. But yeah, can other people sell Forge World? I thought it was only Forge World that could sell Forge World. I don't know, actually. Never thought about it. But yeah, you're going to be paying around about that. Even if you get a store where it's cheaper and a Forge World, you're going to get that anyway, I think. But I don't think you can buy Forge World anywhere else. I don't think. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Gotta tell you, painting with this brush, the Regiment brush, I'm loving it. It's just the paint goes where I want it to go. I've not goofed up yet once with these. I'm loving it. These The Army Painter brushes, they are really nice. Especially considering normally when I paint, I have to paint really close up because of my old man eyes. But when I'm doing this for you guys on a live stream, I can just kind of go in and wave the brush about, and it just seems to work with these brushes. It's as if by magic. Then again, I'm further away, so they could be coming out really terrible and I'm covering up half the detail I don't want to paint, but I just can't see it, so I don't know. Zip, zip, zip. Okay, so that's that done. Recast, that's a bad topic. Yes, we won't go there. Other than to say, don't buy recast. Pretty sure Forge World is exclusive. Some Games Workshop stuff is available from the stores, but some is exclusive. Yeah, I kind of figured that, like, because Games Workshop stuff you can buy, you can be a. I'll start that again. Words. You can be a retailer that sells Games Workshop, and you often find, like, if you buy their normal Games Workshop plastic stuff from anywhere but Games Workshop, you can get it a lot cheaper. Some great deals out there. But Forge World, I'm pretty sure, is you can only buy Forge World stuff from Forge World. I'm not aware that third parties can sell Forge World stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a website exclusive, or go to the war. You can't even buy Forge World stuff in a Games Workshop store, in a Warhammer store. You can order it, you can't buy it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's not supposed to be that colour. I'm pretty sure that. How am I going to paint that? What? Just armour halfway down his leg that fades out. Brilliant. Yeah, Forge World stuff is basically you get it from Forge World, or you get it second hand from someone off eBay. But then good luck having it not completely crappy quality or broken. There's no way to guarantee what you're going to get. I think the basic gist of it is, if you want Forge World, you're kind of going to have to pay for it. If you want that big scary thing on your table, you're going to have to button down and bite that bullet. It's like if I decided I want, say, a Titan Warhound or something like that, I kind of know I'm going to have to spend £1.5 on a Titan. I mean, I'd never get one because it's resin, and I'm not best friends with resin. Resin gives me nightmares. But if I wanted a Titan Warhound, I'd be looking at £1.5, or £1 and a bit, because it's how much it is. It's hard to see which bits are trousers and which bits are mechanical parts. Yeah, so Forge World, I'm afraid the kind of news is you're going to have to save up for it if you want that big unit. There is a Forge World store at the Warhammer World. Yeah, that's the one sort of retail place you can go and physically buy things. Look at them and touch them and buy them, is the Forge World. Although they might sell them if you're in the US. That Warhammer Cafe thing they've just done, Citadel Cafe, whatever it's called. Yeah, you might be able to get them there. I finally started on my around, Fox, and I'm already pulling my hair out, says Cy Reynolds. What's your around? Is that an autocomplete there, Cy? Do tell me what that was meant to be. Is that a warhound? Remind me. Doodle-doo. What's happening in chat? You can be lucky and buy the Forge World bits with the Games Workshop models, but still be pricey. Yeah, they're just... It's crazy expensive. If you're getting into that kind of thing, it's the kind of thing that you're probably very rare that you'd ever even see something like that on a tabletop. Because the points cost is so high anyway. They know there's going to be very few of them around. Painting little things. It's quite relaxing. I'm painting the back of the legs, but I know there's all flowy cloaks and greatcoats covering these up, so... But I don't know which bit's getting covered up yet, so I've got to paint it all. Got to paint it all. Pokemon! Sorry. Got to paint it all. Just a reminder for anyone while I'm doing this, if you've joined us and didn't join us from the start, and you've not watched one of these before, if you do have a question, if you want to ask me a question in the chat, don't forget, if you're watching this and you can't see the live chat, although you can see the chat on the right hand side here, if you can't see the actual live chat where you can type your questions in, things like that, then you're probably not watching on YouTube, so click the YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner. That'll take to the YouTube page where you can see the actual chat itself. You can join in. I will be doing sticker giveaways in a bit that need you to be in the chat. If you want to ask me a question or get my attention in the chat, then please make sure to post your comment or question in big massive capital letters so I can have a chance to see it when I'm actually not painting. If I do miss your question, apologies, obviously my head's down here and I'm painting, so I probably will miss a lot of stuff. Just post it again. You can, if you want, use the super chat, which is the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That will pop up your question in a big coloured box and will also make a little noise at my end so I know somebody's done a super chat. And also, the money you put through a super chat does go towards the prize fund for the stream boss battle and take some of Aviad's health off. Talking of which, if you don't know what the stream boss battle is, at the top of the screen you'll see a health bar with Aviad's name on it. He is the current stream boss, and he's on 80-odd thousand health points. Every time you do a super chat through the super chat button, or every time somebody subscribes to this channel, or every time, I do this on camera, every time you do a tip to the tip jar, and the tip jar address is at the bottom of the screen, it's streamlabs.com/knocking the camera, streamlabs.com/model making guru. Every time you do a tip through the tip jar, again, it takes some of Aviad's health off. And the bigger your tip or the bigger the super chat, the more health comes off. And whoever gets Aviad down to 0, at some point, they will become the new stream boss. And what do you win when you do that? Aviad will tell you what you win. You win 200 or 300 quid's worth of Games Workshop kits and products of your choice. Because all the money you raise, or most of the money you raise, through the tips and the super chats and the subscriptions, things like that, well, not the subscription, the money you raise through tips and super chats goes into a pot, and then when you become the stream boss, you get that pot of monies, and you tell me what you want me to order, and I go on to Games Workshop and I order that stuff for you, and then you're the stream boss. And then when somebody knocks you off the stream boss, they win the same thing. And typically it's working out about 200 or 300 quid's worth. Aviad, when he became stream boss a few weeks ago, he basically got to claim £280 worth of lovely, lovely Games Workshop stuff. And he got the Knights Renegade, the Knights Renegade pack, the 2 knights and the instruction book, so you can do the Imperial Knights Renegade. He got himself the Kill Team box set, which is very nice. He got an extra card set for the Kill Team, and he got I think a tool. I think he got the paint scraper, perhaps. I'm not sure which one. He got the paint scraper, seam line remover, something like that. So he well looked out. He got himself 280 quid worth of good stuff. So make sure to get your super chats and tips going through. And remember, the more you put through as a super chat or a tip, the more you actually help, the more health you take off him. The lower his health goes. It does take a while, and things do speed up suddenly when it gets towards a lower, smaller number. Right now, it's like an eBay bid. Everybody's putting little bits through because they know it's not necessarily going to take him off. But I don't say how much takes off how much health. So the canny amongst you will do some tests and figure it out and know exactly how much to do. I'll get this legs painted, and then we'll do, what time are we on? 4:15. I'll get the legs painted, and then I think we'll do some stickery giveaways. I think stickery giveaway times. Right, is that bit done there? Some of the detail is quite hard to see what's what on these. It's like, is it cloth or is it metal? I can't quite tell without having the picture reference to look at. Okay, that's that bit done. There are a few little bits here and there. I've gone, you know, a bit of grey paint's gone over some of the metal stuff and things like that. But I'm not really too fussed because, like I said, I'm going to put a wash over it anyway. And on the legs, at least, I'm going to have a little bit of weathering like powders just to make some sort of dust effects, so it's fine. I've missed a bit there, though. Yeah, if you haven't tried these The Army Painter brushes, go and get something really nice. Get the Mega Brush set, it's 35 quid. And you may not use all the brushes, but the ones you do use, they're awesome. They are truly awesome. Right, I think that's all the legs. Unless I've got dudes that have the leg. I think most of the guys are actually just hot upper torsos. I don't think I've got dudes with legs on them. No, that's cool. Right, so that's the legs done. So let me get the brush rinsed off. I'll have a good look at what chat's doing. Let's have a see what we're doing. Those may be the Skitari I sent you with the Armiger and the Tech Priesty bloke, says Jerry. Yes, I think they are actually, Jerry. I was trying to remember if because it wasn't, I can't remember what I bought then. I know you sent me the Armiger and you sent me a load of Skitari dudes. It might be the Skitari dudes then. So Jerry sent me these, so thank you very much for that, Jerry. I thought I bought some Skitari. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I bought something else completely then. What did I? Oh, no. I was gifted the 45 quid and I bought the 2 Armigers. Because Jerry sent me an Armiger and these Skitari dudes, and then the 45 quid was a gift. And that went on the 2 Armigers, so I've got 3 Armigers, remember? Right, so we've got some grey on their legs. Trouser paintings. We've got a base grey coat there. So what I'll need to do is put a shade over those to darken them down. But I'll get all the base coats down first before I start doing any shades and stuff. I've already put a shade on the and this is flat aluminium then, on the lead belcher. I should have waited really. Let's just see what I've missed on the chat. Again, I do tend to miss a lot of the chat. Enormous coffee. I'll let you look at my enormous coffee for a minute. No. Krista Pyro says, that's something that bugs me is that most Salamander themed stuff is only on Forge World. Yeah, you and everybody that likes Horus Heresy as well. And that'll be the Horus Heresy stuff that they started getting rid of. Like, here, you can buy all these Space Marines, but you can't buy the accessory packs. Or you can buy the accessory packs, but you can't buy the Space Marines anymore. You can be lucky and buy the Forge World bits with the GW models. Oh, I've done that one already. 1 Warhound or 7 Perfect Grey, says Michael Lavecchio. Si Reynolds says Warhound. Yeah. George Flouters in. George, welcome, and congratulations. Shouldn't you be doing the honeymoony stuff right now, or doing the slightly hungover from the wedding thing? George, can't believe you came here on the day after. What are you doing? Played the tune for you in the opening and in the pause bit as well. What's going on here? Christopher Kansas wants to get the Primarch Vulcan kit. I'm really struggling here to actually see what's going on. The chat has gone left, right and centre here. Right, what's George saying? George Flauter, that's also my next big step. That or trying to replicate a conversion kit with plaplate. I don't know what... I've missed the middle of that conversation somewhere. I'm missing the middle part of that. Anyway, let's just fast forward a bit. Well, my new wife is still asleep, says George. Well, there we go. I'll talk really quietly. Everybody sing really loud. Well, congratulations, dude. I got the pictures that you put up on the Patreon Discord. They look really... Was it actually in Hawaii, or was it just Hawaiian themed? It looked lovely. George, the brave man with the brave soul, says Andy McLeish. And we spent our honeymoon fund buying a house last week. Oh, okay. But you can always do a honeymoon some other time. But you'll only get a chance to buy a house once, maybe. So here I am with my friends, says George. Oh, thank you very much, dude. So, go on. Then how did it go? How was it good? Was it a good day? Did everybody have fun? Did you get very, very drunk? What else do you ask about weddings? I don't really know. I've only been to, like... I think I've only been to 2 weddings, and they weren't anywhere, like, in Hawaii or anything. Redlearn08. Nah, hi all. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm making butterflies. You need to explain that one now. Redland, you can't just say that and then not explain it. It sounds really cool. Scale Model Vamp says, huge fund. Nice. Congratulations, George. Yeah, that's the point. You bought a house with your honeymoon fund. That's a big honeymoon fund. Hello. Wow. I'm really glad you came in, mate. I'm still waiting for my stag do 6 years in, but the missus now says, dream on, says Jerry. Yeah, I think your stag do is basically you and the lads in the pub for an hour or 2. I think that's the best you're going to get, mate. The best you're going to get. Did she get a hen night? Because if you got a hen night, then you're owed a stag do. For those of you outside the UK, the stag do is like the bachelor party. It was a stressful day. I didn't eat or drink much, says George. That's kind of what it's meant to be. Everybody has the romantic ideal about weddings. It's like it's just stress and tension, and finally you know, the day's over and you get to chill out a bit and do the dancing at the end. But in reality, of course, it's just stress and tension because you've got all these expectations from everybody. George says, Jerry, let's do a stag do together because I also did not get one. Oh. Redland, for my son's wedding cake, 340 so far, a sort of model making. Okay, you're making... Oh, I see. Everybody's getting married. It's all romance in the boom hut at the moment. It's great. I'm the least romantic person in the world, and it's like everybody in the boom hut is either building Warhammer or getting married. There's probably a connection there somewhere. It's like a multiple choice: build Warhammer or get married. Right. Let's have a look. She got hers, says George. I had stag nights, but not my weddings, lol. No, missed 2 hours of the stream, says Aviad Madar. Don't worry, Aviad, we've not done all the giveaways and stuff yet. That you're going to win all of them, obviously. Yeah. I need to get the stickers out, don't I? Let me take the headset of seeing off. Yeah, you've not missed much, dude. I showed off the Taurox so far, which is primed and ready to roll. Just needs painting. Although today we're actually painting some Skitarii Rangers, because they were ready to roll. And I showed off the work in progress of my Mortarion, who's just got the base coat of Death Forest, Death Guard green on him for the moment, and that's just waiting to paint job. But I'm going to film that. I'm going to actually film that as a proper film series on Saturdays. If you missed it at the start, by the way, just to tip you in, my plan going forward, because I'm back in the saddle now. The plan going forward is that during the week, Monday to Friday, that's when I'll do my main builds, like my Gunplers, the Patreon builds I've got going, other bits and bobs. That's when I'll do that kind of stuff. Then Saturdays and Sundays is my Warhammer time. So Saturday I'll work on stuff that I can film, so Warhammer builds that I can actually film for video series. And Sunday, of course, is live stream time, so I'll do whatever I'm doing here, and then I'll finish that off during the rest of the day. That's my plan. There will be sometimes where I'll do Warhammer stuff during the week. If I've suddenly finished all my builds and I've got nothing else to do and I want to work on some Warhammer, I will do. It's just if I've got other stuff to do, because I need to do Warhammer, non-Warhammer stuff as well. If I need to do other stuff, I'll try and get that done during the week. I'm currently working on the Strike Rouge, which that's still taking a while, but it's there. It's coming on slowly. The Strike Rouge needs to get done. Once that is finished, the Strike Rouge is finished, I've got that little tiny chibi U-boat to do, just for fun, for a little bit for remodels. Once the U-boat is done, then it's George's Cesabe. I've got to build George Flauter's newly married Cesabe. That's the Shanghai Dragons Cesabe. That's probably going to take me till well into the new year. And then once that is done, I'm a free man then for a few months, and I can build whatever I want, so that's when I'll start varying a bit. So, we shall see, says Annie McLeish. But as it goes at the moment, right now, of course, at the moment, you've got 2 guaranteed Gunpla builds, because I've got 2 Patreon builds to do. For those of you who don't know, if you support me on Patreon, patreon.com/modelmakingGuru, the top tier Patreon support level, $100 a month or more, I get to build, if you want me to, I can build you a master grade Gunpla or Warhammer stuff, whatever. Build it and paint it and send it to you. So that's one of the rewards. I've got 2 of those to do for George and Jordan. Right, so we do some giveaways. Now I'm waffling away. Don Mackenzie, my missus isn't talking to me for using the daughter's hair taken from the hairbrush for scenic water drool for my little alien bus. I saw that, the little bits of... That was quite cool, that. Andy McLeish, of course Aviad knows I'm joking. Why, what did you say? Oh, Mrs. Vamp is in, welcome. Welcome, Mrs. Vamp. I've got the sniffles. How's your internet today, Vamp and Mrs. Vamp, by the way? Well, scale model Vamp. How's the internet today? Are you still suffering with the storms? I was on a hangout with Smoo and some others last night. Smoo and Colin and that lot. The scale model Vamp was one of the people in it. And Davey UK and Vincent. And bless him, he had electrical storms going on, so he's like, his connection was just terrible. Right, I need to we've got to set up a group stag in the Discord. A Patreon group stag do. that'll do. Oh, that's one other thing, by the way. If you're watching this, before we get to the giveaways and stuff, if you're watching this and you are a patron, so you do support me on Patreon, you might not know, I did put some things up, but a lot of you haven't seen the messages. There is a Patreon exclusive Discord channel. It's just for patrons. Every patron from $1 up gets access to Patreon Discord. Now, I know we've got the Boom Hut Discord, but my plan going forward is that the Boom Hut Discord is for people in the Boom Hut to hang out and have a live chat. I'll be in there occasionally, but I won't do a lot of stuff in there. I'll post up things when I do videos and stuff, but I'm not going to be in there that much. I haven't got the time. The Patreon Discord, I'm hoping that I can spend a lot of time in the Patreon Discord just hanging out with you guys. So there is a Patreon Discord exclusive. If you go to Patreon and have a look on the post on the front page, go down a few, there'll be a few in there. But if you can't find the links to it, because there is a post that says about the Discord, if you can't find it, drop me a message on Patreon and I'll pop you the link. But there is a Patreon Discord exclusive for you guys. So a few of you haven't responded to it yet. So go and check it out. It's a good place to hang out. And I say, I'll probably spend most of my time in that Discord rather than the Boom Hut Discord, which I'll leave to the Boom Hut to have that little play area. Right. Dumb question, says James Laura. Where is St Ives? Mike Mountain says it's in Cornwall. It's down south. The bottom of England. There's a little bit that sticks out. It's down there. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Hello everybody. Welcome. I start the giveaways and Paul Di Tommaso turns up. There could be a connection. Right. Let's get some stickers. So we have. Si, I've still got your sticker there, mate. I need to send that out. Right, so we have. I don't know, because I haven't done all the giveaways and stuff yet. I sent them all out. I don't know how many. Where's all my stickers gone? I don't know how many gross models and Mike Mountain and other stickers I've actually got to give away. So I'm just going to do my stickers again. I think I'm actually running out of stickers now. Have I got more? I'm sure I have more than that. Chris, I may be asking you to get me more stickers. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to check my stocks. I'm sure I had a lot more than that. No, I might need some more. Chris, I might have to mail you to get some more. Ooh, there you go then. Right, so we're going to do some model making guru stickers. Hoorah! So, let's have a look and see. Keyboard wakes up. Let's have a look and see. How long would you say that puppy is, says Cy Reynolds? I have a large space on my laptop that's about 12 by 5. Well, the ammo sticker, if I was to hazard a guess with a ruler, perhaps, which would give me a very accurate guess, I would say it was, just roughly, it was 25 centimetres by 8 centimetres. Or in Imperials, Stop Rebel Scum, just under 10 inches by 3 1/8. There you go. A rough estimate using a rough estimation tool. Let me show you my tool. Right. So, let's do some question answers. So remember, if you want me to use a question answer, mail me, Foxx. Oh, I need the email address, don't you? It's there. I've put it permanently now. It's smaller. Foxx@modelmakingguru.com, the new address. Send me your question and answer there. Make sure to include your name and address so that if I use the question answer, I know where to send a sticker to. Let's see what we've got. We have some questions. I also have a whole mess of junk email in my inbox, so I might miss a few out. If you've sent me some sticker question and answers, I might miss some of them. Because I've got a whole mess of junk email I need to sort out. That's Google AdSense, that's not one. Can I send you a price list? Price list? Who uses what's that? Oh, web design spam mail. Oh, do you know? Here's a question, right? I'm just checking now, I'm going through the emails. You get a mail saying, hi, I work for this web design company, blah, 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 and I say to them, how did you get hold of me? Well, we came through your website. So you know I've got a website. So why are you offering me a website building service? Oh, do you know? I don't know. I'll do it myself. Right, anyway. Andy McLeish, Sunday questions. Here we go. I've got one from Andy, I'll do one from Cy, and I'll do one from Isaac, I think. Maybe, we'll see. Right, so. Andy McLeish just says, answer the no more spoon moments. He includes his name and address. Guten Tag, meine Lieben. Here are the Sunday questions. Oh, God. God, even I don't know the answer to have two of those, and two of them are about me. Okay, we'll do one from. This is a question. This is a you might need to look it up question. You should know it anyway. You should know everything about me, but you won't. So this is a you might need to look it up question. So the first one. Now, before we go anywhere, before we do these questions and answer, as always, by this point in the show, there is a lag between the video and the audio. So before we go anywhere, I need you to refresh your browser page and then drag the slider across to the right when it reloads to make sure you're up to date. So I'll give you just a couple of seconds to do that. So get refreshing. Dead it now. Refresh your browser now. Let me show you my big tool. Refreshing. What a refreshing change. Right, so everybody's refreshed. Drag the slider across. There you go. Right, so for a model making guru sticker, here's a question. What? Are you ready? What? And he says in brackets, historical/hysterical lesson this. What was the first video that Foxx put up on YouTube, that's me, and how many parts were in it. So what was the first thing I put on YouTube, and how many parts were in that series? Go. I need to go back to chat now. It's on a different screen. What was the answer? Oh god, that and that. There we go. So what was the first build series, or what was the first video, and how many episodes were in that series? Oh, I know this, says Chris. No. There has not yet been a Hello Kitty build. I regret to inform. Cy Reynolds says 42. Actually, I'm going to check because I need to make sure. I'm not sure that is the right number of episodes, but I'm not going to doubt you. But I'm going to doubt you a little bit. Let me just check. I want to double check this. Playlists. I just need to make sure. I'm sure there are more episodes than that. Let's have a look. Oh. Ah, yes. Okay, good job I checked that. Right, okay. I always say I don't check the answers. However, did actually get the answer wrong on this one a little bit, Andy. The correct answer has been answered by Adam Clark, who says the Colonial Viper and 12. Correct. There were actually 12 episodes, Andy, not 8. I don't know where your counting comes in. Colonial Viper and 12. There were 12 episodes. So well done, Adam Clark. Well done. You've won yourself a stickery sticker. So drop me an email to Model Making Guru. No, it's not. That's not. It's there. It's where's it? There it is. Fox there. Where's the camera? Fox@modelmakingguru.com, and just put your name and address and say that you won a sticker, a Guru sticker, and we'll get that. I'll get one off to you. Andy. Excuse me. Hang on. Need to clear my throat. Gross Model says, yeah, right, like you've ever done more than 6 episodes. And did he say 8 episodes? And I was thinking, I'm sure I did more than 8 episodes. So there we go. So well done. Yeah, send me an email, name and address, and that you want a Guru sticker. Oh, who was that? That was Tobias Martz. Just want to say thank you. Thank you, Tobias. Love you to bits. Thank you very much. Lovely, lovely. That's all going into the fund for whoever becomes the new stream boss. He broke it up. He did 8, then he did 4 more. I don't remember. It was years ago. Although I did say recently that I went back and I watched that first ever video, and yeah, that was painful. That was painful, dude. Go and watch it just for how bad it is. It's like, oh, bad lighting, bad audio, bad camera, everything was bad. My 3rd word ever spoken on YouTube was yeah, I know, and it's not changed. Right, so that's one done. Don't worry, Andy, I'll still send you a sticker even though you goofed. Okay. Oh, hang on. Andy, I just deleted your email by accident. Can you send me another email telling you to send you a sticker because I asked you a question? Because I forgot. I'll forget otherwise. I just pressed the wrong button, and I'm doing it on iPad. And iPad is. Hang on, I can get rid. Actually, hang on. I can undelete it. I can undelete it. I've recovered. Can I undelete it? Oh god, doing anything on the iPad that isn't just not easy. Andy, send me another email. Just tell me that I asked you a question and I owe you a sticker. There you go. Do you know, doing anything with Google Gmail that's not just it's not as easy as on desktop. Who's that? Ooh, hello, Chris Burns. Thank you very much for becoming a patron. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will need to let you know about the Discord. So have a look on the front page. Have a scroll down on the front page. Some few number of posts in, there'll be a thing about the Discord. There's a Discord there. So have a look at that. Go and have a look at that. If you can't find it, just pop me a message on Patreon. I'll send you the link. Andy, yes, I've got completely confused now. I've gone all over the place. Andy, send me another email with your sticker. That's me being special now. It's gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. I always know that if everything works perfectly at the start of the show, something's going to go wrong at the middle of the show. Right, who's got next? Let's do another one. We have. I need to clear this inbox out. Okay, right, here's one then. I don't think anybody will get this one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. This is one from Simon Bridgewater. It says, just emailing as requested. Wait, what did I request you to? What did I request you to re-email? You've confused me now. Hang on. Okay. You said you're just re-emailing me as requested, but you need to say what you're emailing me about because I won't remember. I'll have already forgotten now. So send me another email with whatever your email. If I've somehow lost the original email, you need to remind me what it was. I am that rubbish. Anyway, he has a question. I don't know if anybody will get this, but we'll give it a go. Right. Everybody ready? There we go. What have you done? I forgot to include my name and address. Right. Got it, but what were you emailing me about, Simon? Remind me. Anyway, yes, he says, here's a question. This is going for Tau. This is Warhammer. It's Tau. So if you're a Tau player, you might know this. This is something that was in the 3rd edition codex. What is the Tau word for spoon or spork? Go. What is the Tau word for spoon or spork? I don't know if anybody will get this. Andy McLeish says, there were 3 questions there. I know, but I don't ask them all in one go. I spread them out. Well, I would do if I hadn't accidentally deleted the email. Nobody's got it yet. Oh, George Flouter, who wins everything, says Ukos, and that is the right answer. How did you even know that? And he's married and everything now. So George Flouter says Ukos, that is correct. Ukos is the Tau word, or Ta'au word, for spoon or spork. I don't know why they'd write that in the codex. What is that? This is Warhammer for you. So well done. Well done, George. Send me an email. You know what to do. You know what to do by now. Foxx@modelmakinggear.com. Tell me you want a sticker. I'll put it in. I think I've still got about 3 stickers to send you anyway. So well done. And Simon did send me his address, which is there. Let me just delete that one because that's the same one. Right. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's one from Osric 9000, and I'm asking this one because it's a thing after my own heart. So here's the last one for today. I'm kind of going a bit quiet here today, aren't I? It's really weird. Right, so last question for today for stickers, and it's a Stargate question. Yes, yes. Everybody, fastest fingers first. You should all know this because you should all be fans of Stargate. You should all watch Stargate, and if you don't watch Stargate, why? What I'm going to do first is have a swig of coffee. If you don't watch Stargate, if you don't like Stargate, seriously, we need to have a conversation. So, Stargate question. In Stargate SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis, what is the first name, the real first name of Dr. Rodney McKay? Go. What is Rodney McKay's real first name? Oh, Smoo's off. Catch you later, Smoo. Thanks for coming in, Duda. Bam, Redlen08 says Meredith. Yes, it's Meredith Rodney McKay. Or is it Rodney Meredith McKay? I don't know if it's his first or last name. It's Meredith anyway. To which Sam Carter finds it most amusing. So Meredith is correct. Redlen, well done. Send me an email to fox@modelmakingguru@gmail. No? Yeah, fox@model... No. Wow, talking rubbish. fox@modelmakingguru.com. It's there. It's there. It's there. Just say, and all 3 of you who won, just send me an email with your name and address and tell me that you won a sticker, and we'll get those stickers sent out to you. Cool. Right, Andy, resend me the email so I can send you the sticker. Simon, send me an email reminding me what you're reminding me about, because you just said you're reminding me, but not what you're about. And I'll shut up now because it's all gone horribly wrong, hasn't it? Jerry says he met Ben Browder on a train, had a great 2-hour chat with him. Cool. Andy McLeish done it. James Lorimore, Canada, yes. Did I miss anything doing all that? George says his wife is watching him now. Yeah, he'll have to go soon. 6 episodes, says Team Inept. Shut up, Paul. There we go. I don't think I missed anything in chat. Right. So what are we on? It's 4:45. Let's do all the other bits now. So we need to do the draws and things for last week. So if you remember last week, we were doing the FX 1/48th scale BAE Hawk 100, either Canada or Australia land. G'day. The Hawk, it's a beautiful little kit, £9.95. If you went to Mr. Models in London 120 years ago when this kit came out. But this is the giveaway, so it's quite heavy. This is the giveaway. So I asked you to put a comment. Now, if you haven't done it yet, you've got like 30 seconds to go to last week's show and put your comment on that. And I can't remember what I asked you to put down now. I can't remember at all. But go and have a look and see what everybody else has put. You'll guess. You can guess from there. So I shall split the screen. Now, hopefully this will work. Ready? So hopefully you can see all this, and hopefully you can still hear me. Please, after last week's shenanigans, please tell me that you can hear me and see the screen before I go anywhere. Can you all see me and hear me okay? Is everybody hearing and seeing? Words and pictures. You hearing me okay? Feel free to answer, any of you. Tell me in chat, can you hear me? Yes, all good. Right, brilliant. Lovely. I have to check because I don't know now. It's been finicky. Right, so one thing for you guys, go and subscribe to this channel here, Ants Canada. Go and watch it. Just everybody go and subscribe to that channel and watch all his videos. Ants Canada, brilliant channel. It's really, I found it the other week and I can't stop watching his stuff. He's brilliant. Go and watch him. Ants Canada. Go and do it. Right, so I asked you something about, was it Canada? Oh yeah, I asked you a fact about Canada, I think. This is an amusing but not necessarily correct fact about Canada. Ghost Lyle says Canada is Canada, which is pretty much true. Nickelback is from Canada, says Rinks Near. We won't hold that against them. Everybody makes a mistake once or twice. Pineapple on ham pizza was invented in Canada, says Scott Sutherland. Pineapple on pizza, I approve. Canada, it's not just a place, it's a state of mind, says Osric 9000. Tom Brustovich says Canadians don't have arguments, they have compliment wars, plus they like crisps all dressed. Ghost Lyle says on chat, says Ants Canada has lots of ants videos. Yeah, it's not I just love the channel. You have to go and watch Ants Canada, it's brilliant. Don't go do it now because you're watching my stuff. Despite Canada being the second largest country in the world, it only has a population of around 35 million, which is half that of the UK. Facts CA, says Mickey Elliott. I think there is a Twitter account for Facts Canada. Bob and Doug Mackenzie are international treasures, and the Elsinore Brewery makes a fine beer. Take off your hoses. There you go. In Canada, Canadian bacon is called back bacon. I like that. What do you call Canadian bacon in Canada? We just call it bacon. Let's do one more. Canada's a force of awesome in the world. They're like America with manners and better sense, says Muscatronic University podcast Dan. To which Mike Lavecchio says, rude! Your YouTube doesn't like my comments, Fox, says Scale Model Vamp. Are you putting a link in it? Because it won't let you do a link. It'll think you're spam. However, I'll tell you what I can do. I've got to refresh that page anyway, so let me click on that. There's a few gone in the last few minutes, so like that. It's not showing as a spam. Oh, what have I done? There we go. I don't know why it doesn't do it, but
Grow your business by accepting credit and debit
this
cards
guy's
with
got
the
the
Smart
weirdest
Card
voice.
Reader. No fixed contract.
No fixed
monthly
contract.
fees.
Don't like
Order
his
now
voice.
at
Don't like his voice. Oh, I don't like that guy's
Get the
voice.
Plague Marines after these.
Not this guy.
They
He's got
definitely
the
voice.
death. Yeah, that advert on YouTube. Oh, no fixed contract for your card reader. I'm like, oh, it's a horrible voice. If you've ever, Scale Model Vamp says, yeah, there it is. Oh, there you go. Yeah, if you've ever played, I think it was Fable 2, it might be Fable 3, where there's like a guy selling a magic mirror in the town square, and he's like, I've got this magic mirror. It only works in complete darkness. He sounds like that guy on the advert there. Oh, that card reader advert, the guy's voice doesn't work for me at all. Anyway, right. That creator says, good night, guys. It's nearly 12 here and I have school tomorrow. I hope I win this prize. don't forget to come back then and watch tomorrow and see if you won. I'm going to pull it now, you might as well wait a second. Right, so let's find out who won. We've got all the new comments you've just added in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Before anybody goes to bed, we'll get this into the random comment picker that picks random comments randomly. We have 38 comments, and we shall find out who the winner is. So, are we ready? In 3, in 2, in 1. Flower print flowy dress. Press the button. JS Idaho. Bob and Doug Mackenzie are international treasures, and the Elsinore Brewery makes a fine beer. Take off, you hosers. I've already read that one. Well done, JS Idaho. Well done. I'm going to guess you're in Idaho. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well done. You have won yourself. I'll just come back to the normal screen. Hang on. You have won yourself the BAE Hawk 100, £9.95 if you go back in time to 2003 in Mr. Models in London. So JS Idaho, well done, well done, well done. You know what to do. Drop me an email, fox@modelmakingguru.com with your name and your address, and tell me that you won the Airfix Hawk, and I will get this off to you. I think I've actually got some sticker to send you anyway. I can't remember. But there you go. But yes, drop me an email. Tell me you've won that, and we'll get that off to you. I shall. I'll put that to one side. Yes. Right, now we need to find out what's being won this week. So well done, well done. There you go, nice and shiny. Let's find out what we're doing this week. So this week, you know what's coming now. It is time for. Yeah, it took a while for the music to get going there. Now I need to. Oh. Well, if it says, I forgot to take Canada off. If it says Canada, we'll ignore that one. We've done that one now. Question is, says Scale Model Vamp, is he watching? Would he know if would he know he won if he wasn't watching? If anybody ever wins anything and they're not watching the live stream and they don't realise, after about a week or two, if I've not heard from them, I'll reply to their original winning comment and say, hey dude, you know you won. Can you get in touch? If I haven't heard from someone after say 4 or 5 weeks after they've won, I'll just put the prize back in the pot for somebody else to win. But typically I'll give them a shout after a week or two anyway. Right, so yeah, ignore the Canada bit. I forgot to take that off. So let's get the wheel spun. Are we ready? Let's find out what we're giving away this week. Are we ready? A 3, stand by for the annoying noise. A 3, a 2, a 1. I hate that noise. So loud. So loud. Frank Tank. Yes, I've been waiting to give this one away. I said get rid of it, then I meant to give it away. Let me find it. Hang on. Oh, you're gonna like this. Oh, you're gonna like this. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to pull the camera out for this and everything. Oh, I'm gonna have to move the camera. Are we ready? I'll close this bit down. Hang on. Let me close this bit down. Yes, I'll have to move the camera now. Watch. This week's prize is the. I'll put it in focus for you as well. Are we in focus? Is the Meng AMX 30B2 French main battle tank. The AMX 30B2. It's realistic immovable torsion bar suspension system, workable track links, clear lights and periscopes, partial turret, interior provided, precision photo etch parts included. I've been waiting to give this one away for ages. It's a Meng. It's got 20 batrillion parts. 20 batrillion. And that's a real number, batrillion. It's just that. Tons of detail. This ain't your. Look at that. All these tracks can be yours. 1, 2, 3. What have we got there? 1, 2, 5 sprues of tracks. Individual link tracks. Yeah. So 28.2 batrillion parts. All the tracks in the world, which is why I'm very, very glad to be giving this away and not having to make it myself. Oh, looks over at the room at my Panther House of G that I've got to build. I'm going to guess it comes with like 3 decals or something. Oh, it's ever going everywhere now. Comes with a lovely, lovely book, Meng book, which being a Meng kit, of course, go through it carefully because there's always like one step where they miss something out and get something wrong in the instructions and it all goes wrong. So just keep an eye out for that. But this is the prize. I should put this away now. So this is the prize that I kind of hope whoever wins this is in the UK, because it's going to cost me a fortune to ship it. I don't really, but yes. It's the AMX 30B2 French main battle tank. It looks absolutely mint. If you like your modern armour, it looks kick-ass. You could, of course, get funky with it, Warhammer it, customise it, do whatever you want with it, make it look like whatever you fancy. You have a lot of fun with this. This is the prize. Is that a World War II tank? I'm doing a Gundam World War II diorama, so Jeb. No, it's a modern French armour. This is from their 135th Tyrannosaurus series. This product is for users above, what does it say? Users above aged 14 only. Ready to assemble precise model kit. I can't read. Cement. Oh, yeah, there you go. Not a toy. So there you go. That is the mod. This, I think it's like 70s or 60s. It's modern armour. So there you go. AMX 30B2. That is this week's prize. I should put it to one side. So, how do you get your hands on this fine item? I'll put that back down there. How do you get your hands on that fine item? Very, very simple, he says, adjusting the focus. I'm zoomed in. What am I zoomed in for? There we go. How do you win that fine item? Dead simple. All you need to do is wait till this show is finished. When this show's finished, simply put a comment on the show. It'll become a normal YouTube video. Put a comment on the show. And this week, I want you to put a comment. And the comment I want you to put needs to be an interesting and amusing fact about France. There we go. It's been interesting and not necessarily accurate, but an interesting, amusing, and potentially accurate, but not necessary, fact about France. There we go. So that's what you need to do, and I will pull the winner next week for that awesome main battle tank kit that's going to cost me a fortune to ship. Yeah, there is a downside to doing these giveaways. I might have to start doing them like every other week, because it's costing me a fortune this, you know. I like it when you win things like trees and soap, because they're dead small. Big kits, oh. So yes, yeah, put a comment on this week's video about 10-15 minutes after the show is finished, and just say, give me an interesting and amusing comment about France, and we'll see who wins that next week. So let's have a look at chat. What's chat doing? Zancy says 19.9 bajillion parts are the track links. Yeah, there's only 3 other parts. There's the tracks, and then 3 other parts that are the rest of the tank, and it's 19 bajillion parts. Current French tank says scale model. I don't know if it's current. It's got a kind of 1960s look to it, 70s look, but it might be. Jerry says yet another I'm not entering lol. Why not? Do it, dude. Why not? You win a kit. The only armour on a French tank is in the back, says Richard Gibbs. Burn. So what else did I get in the chat? I'd pay to see you in a floral print dress, Foxy, says Scale Model Muse. No, I'm half Scottish, half Irish. You don't want to see those knees, trust me. So I think that's up to date with the chat. I think everybody went ooh when I brought the big tank out. So there we go. So I must remember to take Frank Tank and Canadian off the spin wheel and add something back in. Right, so what were we doing? We were doing dudes, weren't we? We were painting dudage. Right, so what I might do is I shall start painting the cloaky cloaks, the coaty coats. And we shall start with... she'll send you one, Fox. Be careful, says Scale Model Vamp. No, just for the knees. What's arrived in the post? A floral print dress that's making me nervous. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get these, I'm going to paint them in War Boss Green. I'm going to then do a wash of some sort. And then I shall do a highlight of Skarsnik Green. And then I shall do a detail highlight of Nurgling Green. That's what we're going to do. Pink floral. Go. Duh. I totally would, and you know it, Vampy, says Scale Model Muse. Duh. I'm getting nervous now. Right, where's my wet palette? I'm going to paint things and not think about floral print dresses. Scale Model Muse says, with Hello Kitty on it, of course. Done. This is now acceptable. You've gone acceptable now. That's fine. Right, so let's get some painting done. Let's do some actual work that you guys are paying me for. Right, so we have some coats to paint. I need to get some paint off onto the palette. Hang on, how much actual War Boss Green have I actually got? Ugh. Oh, not much, but I've got enough. Enough, I think. Enough für dem wet palette painting gefahren. Should be more than enough to be going on with, I think, there. And if you're wondering why I'm just getting the brush in there and getting paint all over the brush up the furrow, it's because it's a crappy brush that I use for getting paint out of pots. I've said it before, always have a crappy brush to hand to dish your paint out. Yeah, you don't want to see my knees. You don't want to see my knees. Right, what are we doing? I don't know, what am I doing? Oh, who am I? What am I doing here? So on these guys, we've got quite a chunk to paint. We've got the flowy part. I'll zoom in a bit. That's why I was zoomed in. I remember why I was zoomed in now. We have the flowy part of the jacket, of the greatcoat, here. And we have all the little tiny detail parts. I'm going to have to use two different sets of brushes. Because I can use the big monster brush to get this bit painted, and then the smaller brush, this one, which is the regiment, for the little areas. I think we'll try it with the regiment first to see if I can use one brush rather than two different brushes. We'll see what happens. Now, Warboss Green is a layer. Well, that's a point. I'm going to give myself extra work here, aren't I? This may not work. Have I not got green base paint? That's layer. They're all layers. Gosh darn it. All my greens are layer paints. Tell you what I might do. I might do Deathwheel Forest as a base, just to get a green on there, and then go in with the with the Warboss Green. Would that work? There's two different colours. One's brown, one's green. That's not going to work. Layer. That's Lauren Forest. We'll just see what this comes out like. It might have been an extra coat. Let's find out. Let's find out, shall we? What's the worst that can happen? Oh, it's quite thick actually. Yeah, I'll need a second coat, obviously. Obvs. Just give that a go. The thing with layer paints is, if you're not familiar with this, layer paints are quite translucent. So they're not quite as thick with pigment as base paints. Base paints have better coverage and they're more opaque. So, oops. Ideally what you want to do is start with the base paint first and then go with the layer over the top. I don't have a green base paint. I don't need a green base paint. I could do any old base paint. But ideally you go in with a similar colour as a base colour, just so it's there. Two thin coats says Mike Mountain, of course. Dad speaks the words of wisdoms. Be too careful now because I don't want to get any big floaty brush marks in there. It's quite a bright green. It's going to look interesting, these guys. They're going to look kind of funky. I'm going to give you that. Whoever said doodles hair on that, whoever said do them in poster paint green, it was a good idea. Because it's all about fun. Because what I'm going to do is, as I said before, the army is a Principality of Xeon themed army. Now the idea with the Skitarii is that the Skitarii Rangers are still kind of allied to Mars, they're Martians. But perhaps they've agreed to station themselves on whatever planet the Xeons are on, as like an outpost. So they'll take on a different colour scheme, but as Skitarii always do, there's always a reference to Mars in their colour scheme somewhere. So even though I'm going to paint them all these green colours, there'll still be something red on their outfit somewhere as a sort of a thing to Mars, which is their origin. I mean, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try painting one guy, because this colour scheme might look terrible. It might look absolute ass. In which case I don't want to paint 10 dudes and then suddenly find it looks terrible. Aviad Madar says, you're hand brushing everything this time as well? Airbrush capes take 30 seconds. Yep, hand brushing everything. Because there's no practically decent way for me to airbrush on a live stream. Because there's too much faffing about. Too much noise, you wouldn't hear anything. And I don't really want to airbrush figures. I enjoy doing the brush painting too much, to be honest. I actually enjoy the brush painting part of it. It's kind of relaxing for me. I was saying this on the stream last night, I find the Airbrushing is like proper grown-up model making, and brush painting is like fun time model making. So I actually quite enjoy doing this. Oops. It's quite tricky getting around these sleeves. What are we doing? World War II looking Gunpla kits, James. Yeah, Giara Zulu. Giara Doga. Well, Giara Zulu, straight off. It's just an HG kit that looks like a space Nazi. It's brilliant. Can't see which bit's a sleeve here and which bit is actual material. I think that's sleeve. A little bit of touch up to do on this dude once I finish the green parts. Doodle doo doo doo. Oops, knocking the camera, my apologies. It's quite hard to see. Where I need to paint. Knocking the camera again, my apologies. Bit of paint up there. Is that part of his armour or part of his material? Oh, there you go, a bit of a brush splodge. I have to make sure I clean that up later. That's there, that's fine. Right, now we need to do the hood of hoods. Die Hood de Hoedengevaarten. There's a hair on him, stuck on him somehow. Am I on camera? No, I'm not even on camera, am I? Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm a bit on camera. There we go. Okay, and there around the side. Some like tube sticking out of his hood. Not sure about the efficacy of having like pipes and tubes that's sticking through a hood. It seems a bit like it just make it really awkward to get the hood off. Unless you just have the hood on permanently, but then it's like, well, is there much point? Everybody's talking about James wants to make a, if I remember rightly, James is saying he wants to do a diorama, like a World War II diorama, but using Gunpla. And what would be good mobile suits for that kind of thing? Okay, I'm going to repaint that little thing there because I just painted over it. I can repaint that later, that's no problem. It's quite hard painting these guys on camera and all that and everything. And try and, got a really shaky hand today as well, which doesn't help. Duh. Okay, so that's that bit done. Can I get round the back there where his shoulder is? Or do I assume it's metallic? Yeah, let's assume it's metallic. There we go. That's got me out of painting that. No. William Williams says, we can name kits all day, but since we don't know the end goal for your diorama, then I can't really say which models would be best for fitting for it. Yeah, James, if you just tell people exactly what you're wanting to do, give them an idea for what you're wanting to have an end result of, and then they might be able to advise you a bit better. Right, which bits of this arm are now fabric, and which bits are metal? It's hard to tell on these sculpts actually which bits are cloth and which bits are metal. This could be all metal for all, I mean all metal for I know, but I'm not sure. I shall make an edumacated guess. Star, not edumacated at all. Now I know when I glue these arms on I'm going to have to be careful and not scrape paint off the joint areas, because See, it looks like metal on one side, and on the other side it looks like fabric, so no idea. Yeah, I'll be scraping paint off the little glue sections where I need to glue them together, so I've got a point of contact. Cool. That on both sides. You can tell when I'm concentrating because I go quiet. I shut up for once in my life. I think that's... I can't really see on there. I keep knocking the camera, I do apologise. I can't really see on this bit where the green stops and the metal starts. It's quite hard to see. I think that's actually all green. Some of the metal plates are hard to distinguish from the fabric parts, which is kind of annoying in a way, but I'll just have to make an assumption. I think that's a bit there. It's going to take a while to get these guys painted up then, to make sure I've got all the relevant parts painted in all the right areas. Is that fabric? That's fabric, I think. Or is that armour? I think that's armour. Okay. James says he's on the fence with either an airfield battle or a forest battle. Airfield battle will be easier, because there's no trees. Trees can be hard to do. But then again, a forest battle can look absolutely rad and awesome, so depends which way you want to go with it. Right, second coat time. Let's go in for a second coating. I can go a bit thinner with the paint now because I don't have to worry about getting the coverage quite so much. I'm going thinner than I normally would, a little bit, because I know I'm going to have to do potentially more than 2 coats here. So I'd rather do thin coats, stupidly thin coats, and have to do more than put on a thick coat and end up with like 3 thick coats with brush marks all over the place, because that would kind of suck. I think it's going to take me a while to get these guys painted up though. It's going to be a bit of an involved paint job, which is fine. I don't mind. I like painting figures now. I used to dread painting figures. Now I love the idea of it. Do it on camera, dear. Oops. I did find with these guys, there were some of them I think that had like seam lines right down the middle of their trench coats. That was kind of annoying. But if I remember rightly, because it's a while since I did these now, if I remember rightly, I did them, just filled them in with some sprue goo, which was quite quick and simple. Am I on to camera? Yes. Okay, so that's... I'm going to paint inside here in a bit green. I don't want to paint all of it though, because I'm going to have to scrape paint off there to glue the arm on. But I'll do a little bit of it, just to give it some colour. Okay, that's that bit. Luke Showen, hello there. Hey Luke, welcome. I'm afraid this is a bit of a quiet stream today because I'm doing painting, so I'm kind of doing the sticky out tongue concentrating bit, which is not very much fun to watch, I suppose, really, ultimately. But you guys in chat are fairly self-sufficient, so there you go. Oops. I'm going to paint over that bit. I can't be doing going around it. I'll tidy it up again later. The one thing I've learned with brush painting, especially figure brush painting, is it's a bit like drawing, in that when you get your first base colours down, first couple of base colours, your figure will look like absolute ass. It will look like ass. And you'll be like, oh, it looks terrible, what the hell? It looks like gash, what the hell? Always keep in mind that once you start putting your shades on and doing little bits of highlights and lowlights and other colours, that's when it starts to come alive. First few base coats, it will always look terrible. So don't. When I was first starting out doing painting figures and stuff, I'd get disparaged. I'd be like, oh, it looks terrible, I'm just going to give up. But it was the same with, ooh, knocking the camera. It was the same with drawing. When I was doing a drawing of something, I'd get the inks down, and then I'd brush on the watercolours, and it'd look brilliant. But up until I did the watercolours, if I had just the inks down and the first coat of watercolours, it would look terrible. It's only when I got the second set of watercolours on there and started bolding out the inks a little bit, that's when it all started to come together and look quite good. So don't panic if your figure looks a bit rough and ropey and red and a bit, I've missed that bit there now, looks a bit rough and ready around the edges when you've just done your first base coat colour. That's fine, it's supposed to do that. Everything else that gets added onto it is what makes it look kick-ass later on. Start getting your shades and things on there, that's when it all comes together. Right. Give it 1 second. I'll give him one quick blast with the... George, alright, time to go for me, thanks all. Thanks for coming in, George, I really appreciate that. Especially today of all days. Thank you very much for coming in. Say hello to Mrs. George. Congratulations and all that. Now go and do honeymoon stuff. Even though you're not on honeymoon. Go and do new house stuff in that case. Aviad Madar, you need to read up on sketch style painting. For the first few hours everything looks like ass, and then you start throwing in some glazes and everything falls in place. Oh yeah, it's exactly the same thing. I say, because I've been doing like cartoon art for 30 years. It's exactly the same principle. Everything looks terrible till you get everything starts to come together. It's just a lot of people get tripped up and they get to that everything looks ass stage, and they get disheartened and they give up. You know, even my stuff looks terrible until the last few coats go on. That's when it all starts to come together. I'm going to try going in with the monster brush for the big areas of the coat and just see how easy it is to get around the little tiny edges, because I want to be able to cover these quite easily and quite quickly. Shall I do that on camera? That'd be a good idea. Let me move this over here. There we go. So let's try it with the monster brush. See how well this goes. Oh, nice. Nice. That's alright then. That's not bad at all. I mean, it's going to take me a while to paint these guys. It's not going to be as fast as painting Space Marines, where you can just blap colour all over them and away you go, nice and shiny. There's a lot of fiddly bits to get around on here. Carefulness that is required. And that's the thing, when you watch Duncan painting figures, he makes it look so easy, and then you think, yeah, but you've got like 10 more to paint. Ooh, it's raining outside, I can hear it. I'll do a little bit on his hood, just a touch. I think his hood's actually fine as it is, to be honest. Just go around the edge. Now, I'm not fussed too much about getting inside the hood, because it's dark in there, and there's the shading that I've already put on the lead belcher just means it looks dark in his hood, which is fine because it will be under shadow, and I will be putting an edge highlight around the edge of that anyway. So again, I'm not too fussed, and there'll be a shade going on. Okay, so that's the green, base green. Cool. Good choice of colour, whoever came up with that. Let's have a look. I felt like that after I glued all the bits to my night base yesterday. Says it'll do. Then I primed it and it worked. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like when you do any kind of paint job, when you get all bits stuck together and you use done any kind of kit bashing and different bits from different kits and things like that, and you all different things stuck on, it can look terrible. Like, you know, this thing. Before I put the primer on that, it had like shiny bits where all the glue was and stuff, and it was like, oh really, really? And then as soon as you put the primer on, all the detail pops, and you're like, oh, it's better, that's better. Looks much better now. Hey, Dave's in. Hey, Dave. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've got a bit of a headache today, actually. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute, because I gave him quite a thick, watery coat there. Let him dry for a moment. So I need to note down, actually, I need to be sensible about this. I need to make a note of what colours I've used on these dudes. What I need is a piece of paper. What I need is my notebook. Let's move that out of the way. How you doing, Dave? Dave's building his ultramarine army at the moment. He's having great fun painting millions of things a day. Right, so I need to make some notes. I'm going to start from scratch. Here we go. Unending. I've restarted lists and stuff about 1,000 times. Unending forces. Paint. Guide. Skitari. Right, so pants. Mech grey. Coat. So what did we use? We used, was it War Boss green? Yeah, War Boss green. War Boss green. Right. Metal. Metal was fairly, you don't have to worry about metal. There we go. I can figure that out anyway. But pants, Mechanicus grey. I'm going to add each bit as I add different colours. I'll keep a little note. So that way, if I do get more, I know to make them all the same colour. Because I forget that. I painted up a load of Space Marines and didn't write down what colours I used. I'm like, oh, fudge, no, I can't remember. It's a green Skitari, says Chris the Pyro. Yes. Did I miss anything exciting, says Dave? You missed out this week's prize, which I'm going to have to move the camera again to show you. This week's prize will be that French main battle tank. It's a Meng kit. And look how many pieces for the tracks. There are 5 sprues just for tracks. That's just tracks and 5 sprues. Yeah. Somebody's going to both love and hate that. So that's this week's giveaway prize. And you know how it works, Dave. You go on and you answer the question. You put a comment on the video. I think this week's comment is an interesting and potentially amusing fact about France. And keep it nice and polite in the chat, please, folks. Nothing naughty or disparaging. William Williams is working on a custom Master Grade Jagan for a contest right now. On the side, he has 3 old Master Grade GM kits that he's customising weapons and equipment for them to be his own style of Dingo Team. Dingo Team. Sweet, all the tracks in the world, says Dave Wise, the Rum Gone Barker. Yes, many, many tracks, Dave. And that's the problem. Once you start doing Warhammer stuff, you get used to things fitting together beautifully and not having a trillion parts. It then becomes really hard to then do anything that has suddenly a million parts. And as I look at my 1/35th scale Panther G in the corner, I'm like, oh, I'm going to regret that. Right, into the inside of the coat, which I'm going to do with... We're going to do with a base of Xandri dust, and then we're going to do a layer of should we go for, yeah, we'll go for Ushabti Bone. I'm showing you the bottom of it. Ushabti Bone. Ushabti Bone. I like that word. Ushabti Bone. Nice creamy interior. I need to write that down. Write that down. Would the wing kits be done for World War II style, or should I use them for a different style? It's whatever you want to do, dude. It's your imagination. Just whatever you think. If I was doing World War II, I'd go for more of the utilitarian things like GMs and Zakus and stuff. But it's whatever you want to do. Coat. Coat. Inside. What did I say? Xandri. Just writing down. Xandri dust. Xandri, and then Ushabti Bone. Ushabti. So there we go. So we're going to do the inside of the coat. I'm just going to paint this one guy, or work on this one guy for the moment, just because I want to see what he looks like before I go ahead and do the rest of them. Because if he comes out looking like absolute pap, then I don't want to do the rest of them in the same colours. So where's the wet palette gone? What, like the French fact of the day? Dave Barker says, the French fact of the day, the big book of French battle honours has been officially downgraded to a pamphlet. Behave. Behave, Fran. Dave. What are we doing? Yeah, James, it's whatever. It's your imagination, dude. Think World War II. There wasn't a lot of sleek stylishness going on. It was lots of utilitarian stuff. So think. That's my personal thing. I'd do it. I wouldn't go for this sleek, curvy things. I go for more like GMs and some of the Xeon suits and things, the more clunky ones. But like, you know, the Federation stuff, you've got, if you're doing high grade, you've got things like the GMs, you've got the Easy 8 stuff, not Easy 8, the 8th MS stuff, things like that. Iron-Blooded Orphans. You can mix and match from different franchises as well. Don't forget, you have to go for the same franchise. That's the right one. That's my mixing brush. Right, so for the coat, we're going to take some Xandri dust. Xandri dust. Now this is a base paint, so it should give me more better. Should give me better coverage than the green did. And if you're wondering why I've got all the guys on sticks and not with their legs on, it's purely for this bit. Because there's no way I'm going to do a Duncan and try and paint the inside of the coat with the legs in place, because that would just be crazy talk and would not end well. So I need to make sure I'm careful here. I don't want to get any on the green outside, but if I do, it's not the end of the world. I can go in and touch up that later. But if I can you know, keep minimal how much cleaning up and touch up I have to do, then that will be a good thing. So we'll just get this on. Has to be said though, even though it's a base coat, it does seem to not have a bit of a transparency thing going on, so it's quite a transparent base colour, which is annoying. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Right, why did I put that all the way up there? It's really annoying, it's just in the way. Yeah, when Duncan paints one of these, he's got the guy with the legs on the base. It's like, no way, dude. No way you can paint the inside of that coat without ruining the paint job you've just done on the outside when it's attached to the legs. That's just not going to happen. So I'm getting some on the outside, but it's fine because I can either rub it off or tidy it up in a moment. Now it looks really rough here because it's an unusual colour, this Xandri dust. It's kind of it's quite transparent for a base colour, so it's quite hard to get the brush in there as well, which is kind of annoying. That's going to be covered up by his legs, so I'm not too fussed. As long as I get the coat tails painted, that's the important bit. So I'll leave that to dry for a moment. Is it easier or harder to paint Games Workshop kits with all the bits attached like doing shading and stuff? I find it's not so hard painting, like if you get a figure like this, like him, where his arms are outstretched and he's not holding a weapon to his chest, that's easiest to paint like that. Just get it all built together, you've got less bits, because you can stick the arms on the things later, but doing so is a pain. However, if you've got a guy carrying a weapon, so he's got his weapon against his chest, over his chest, it's kind of easier to paint that off the figure if you want to be able to get around the back of the gun. However, you know, to paint like the Aquila and stuff. However, gluing the arms on afterwards can get very messy. So when I glue his arm on here, I've kept this arm off because I know the gun goes across his chest like that. And I can't get to his chest or to that side of the gun to paint it. So I left the arm off. When I glue his arm on, I've got to scrape the paint off there, scrape the paint off inside there, but there's PVA holding that in place, and glue it in place and hope I don't mess up the paint job. And the reason I've got the, like I said, the coat off is so that I can get inside the coat and paint the back of the coat. If I had the legs on, it'd be an absolute nightmare because I just end up covering the legs in paint. So it depends how you. It's entirely up to you. It can vary from build to build, figure to figure. Sometimes, like when I did all my Space Marines a few weeks ago, I just glued all the weapons on. I was like, it goes across the chest, fine. Because what I realised was, if the gun's going across the chest and it's covering up the Aquila, then I can't see the Aquila, neither can anybody else. So it doesn't matter if I don't get it painted quite as well, as nicely. But in the end, I was able to get around the back of all the guns and stuff anyway. So it didn't actually matter. It all worked out quite nicely. But it depends on what you're comfortable with. If you think you can get to everything with the arms on, do it. It's just less things sticking around, less chance of messing up the gluing on the things and getting glue everywhere. Well, that should have dried a little bit. I'm going to give it a blast with the hairdryer, so stand by for hairdryer sounds. Hang on a moment. There we go. Ooh. I use that hairdryer so infrequently it just smells like burning hair every time I turn it on, which is kind of disheartening. Paul Di Tommaso says, what should I do with the trees? I mean, it looks like they would work best with HG scale kits. Is that the trees you won from me? The little scale trees? Yeah, they would go with HG kits, actually, to be honest. Tall Geese looks pretty German, right? Maybe. Paint it up like a German tank. Aviad Madar says, I think the number of models is also a factor there. If you have 30 blokes to paint, do the sub-assembly. Yeah. As I say, I did when I painted my Space Marines, which I haven't got here in front of me. They're all in the case now, but they're all just regular Primaris Space Marines, and they're all walking around with the guns up over their chest. But I was able to paint the Aquilas around the back of the guns. No problem. They were all kind of the guns were far forward enough that with a little bit of careful brushing and a fine brush, and the fact that Retributor armor is a beautiful paint to paint with, I was able to paint all their Aquilae and stuff, no problem. The big thing being, like I said though, is that where I wasn't able to paint doesn't really matter because it's the bit that you can't actually see anyway. If I can't get a brush to it, then you can't see it, it doesn't matter. So it kind of worked out in the end. See how much challenge it is just for me to paint this bit, and this is without the legs in. Imagine I was trying to paint this with the legs on. Ooh, ice cream man, I can hear him in the background. Ooh. I'll have a cornetto, please. I'm painting all the inside here, but you're really not going to see any of it for the most part. Oops, dropping now. Most of this you're not going to see. Right, so that's that bit painted. Tamir extra thin. Glue the arms on with a drop of super glue applied with a cocktail stick. Yeah, I tell you what I tend to do is I got a cocktail stick and I get a very small drop of Tamiya fat glue the normal thick glue, and I drop it into the middle, and then I stick the arm on, and then give it a second, and then I get the extra thin and I just touch it to the gap and it'll go in the gap. The reason I use the fat glue first, because if you do extra thin and you put the arm on, it won't stay in place. It'll fall off straight away. If you do the fat glue first, it'll give it a second, it'll loosely stay in place, and then you can drop the extra thin in, and that way you don't get glue going everywhere. Don't put a big blob of the fat glue, just put a little drop, just enough so you can put the arm on and it'll stay in place, while you then get the extra, then touch it to the gap. And if you're careful, it actually looks fine. It's not going to make a massive mess. Right, let's get some more hair drying going on. One moment. Hair drying across the universe. It's burning my fingers and it smells like burning hair. Whew. Burning my fingers then. This is where Fox and me will always fight over arms on and off. I hate the idea of painting the aquila without washing it with extra earthshade. I do anyway. I still do it. I still give it all the shades. But I don't know. I just seem to be able to, with a Space Marine who's got his arm across his... Have I got one that I can show you? Like, for example, I've not painted this guy, but let me get one out. Hang on. Like this little fella here, for example. This little wee fella here. I would paint him. He's actually glued together because it wouldn't go together properly, but I could quite happily paint him, no problem, like that, because I can get a fine brush, I can get into the aquila to get the gold on there, I can get the Reikland flesh shade in there, no worries. I can get round this side of the gun because it's mostly just the silver colour with a little bit of black. I can get underneath through the bottom of the aquila if I'm really careful. I can get down the side, I can get down there. And anything I can't get to, like the little bit underneath the chest plate, you can't see that anyway. If I can't get a brush to it, and I can't see it, then nobody else can see it. But if his gun was really close against his chest, yeah, then I'd probably leave it off, because then I'd need to be able to paint the aquila if I can't get a brush in there. The difficulty with Space Marines for me is leaving the arms off and then gluing the arms on and then gluing the pauldrons over the top. That's where it always gets a bit messy, because the pauldrons don't always fit. You can't glue it onto the arm in advance because it might not be in the right position. And pauldrons don't always fit, and you have to fudge about, so that's where it can get better. That's where you can ruin your paint job. So I'll always be wary. But there's no argument. I'll paint them with the arms off if I need to. But I'm lazy, so if I can have the arms on and still get to everything, like, I could paint that quite happily now. No problem. No problem at all. But the ones I've painted, I haven't got them here in front of me, but the ones I've painted with the Space Marine intercessors and group of 10, and they're all painted completely built. No arms off for those guys. Partially because it's laziness, nothing else. I was just being lazy. I didn't want to. I think I had them with the arms off first, and I realised there's going to be a problem with the pauldrons. So I decided to put the. This is very thin paint for a base colour. What's going on here? So yeah, at the end, because I had all the pauldrons separate, and I'm like, you know what? I'd end up with a lot of pauldrons on sticks. I'd have all these bits sitting around. I was like, no, I'm just gonna glue them together. Part of it was, can I paint them with these on? If the answer's yes, then it means less things sitting around on my desk. But there's always times when I keep the arms off. The only ones I would never do that, the only guys that you absolutely have to paint with the arms on regardless, is Tempestus Scions, because they've got two-part arms. And trust me, I made a mess of those trying to glue them on without painting them first. If you paint both those parts of the arms and then try to glue them because they don't fit there's no little tab and hole, you just really mess your paint job up. So I wouldn't recommend doing Tempestus Scions separately, because you've got to line up the arm with the gun so it holds the gun properly, and also have the cable going from the gun line up with the other side. So there's too many things to line up that you can't do once it's painted, because you're moving things around. You get paint everywhere and glue everywhere. And you can't pre-glue the arm, because then you can't guarantee everything will line up. So Scions, yeah, they're the odd one out. You have to put the gun on them first. Hairdryer. Yeah, but I wouldn't fall out with you, Dave. It's not like a heated argument. Excuse me. It's whatever works best for you. I personally just can't be doing with a million things sitting around on my desk all the time. Yes, they are a pain in the rear end. What, the Scions they are. I love the Tempesta Scions. I haven't actually got around to painting them yet, so we might change that when I try painting them. I love the look of them. I like everything about them. It's just, yeah, those arms, man. Those arms are awful. I don't know why. I don't know why they gave them those stupid two-part arms. We shall resolve this at Telford with a food fight, says Dave. It's ridiculous because I'm never going to waste food on a food fight. I'm going to waste food by putting it into my entire face. I would never sacrifice food in such a brazen and wanton way. You crazy fool. You crazy fool. Let's get a big brush. There's another thing that annoys the wife. Where's my hairdryer? Here. Do 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 do. Where's the camera? There's the camera. I think my wet palette may be a bit too wet because everything's coming out super thin and watery at the moment. I may have not drained off enough water. I may have overdone it a bit because everything's coming out very watery and requiring many, many coats, more than normal. I don't quite know what's gone on there. I mean, everything dries fast, but it just looks terrible for the first few coats. Oh well, never mind. Zazta says, in hindsight, I don't think they were the best models for absolute beginners. The Scions, yeah, because it's like you know, these guys. These are easy build ones. Imagine these were normal Space Marines, and these chaps, they have an arm, like an arm on that side, and an arm on the rifle. All you need to line up is that socket there, that bit there of the arm with that hand on the rifle. That's it. So you can do that by a little touch of glue and put it on when it's painted, no problem. You get them roughly lined up when you glue one arm on. So I glued this arm on, got the arm right, the rifle arm, and just lined them up roughly so I know they work, and then took that arm off again. With the Scions, that will be 2 parts, this will be 2 parts, and you'd have to line up those both parts and the rifle and this cable go around the back. It was a nightmare. I did not enjoy building those Tempesta Scions at all. I'm looking forward to painting them, but I don't know if I'd want to make more at all. And the other thing that got me on the arm, they've got like the data pad on each arm here. And the really annoying thing is that you can't see it because it's not a camera. They've got a data. Let me move that. They've got a data pad on each arm here, and that's exactly where it attaches to the sprue. So you've got a little square data pad on the arm, and you've got to get the nub off and sand it down without ruining the fact that there's a data pad recessed into the arm. Because you want to keep that. It's like, oh, could you not have put the attachment point somewhere else, not right in that little tiny bit of delicate detail? Oh, how frustrating. Oh. Right, well, what I'm going to do, I think we're going to call it there, because I need to do a lot of hair dryery and painting now. And, I think I'm liking this colour scheme. It's kind of green, this light green. I will be doing, obviously, some shade colours and stuff and other bits and bobs. But I'm quite liking that. The cream and the green work quite well. It's almost like they're delivering pizzas, like Italian colour scheme. That's kind of cool. So I'll give this guy a good paint up and see how he comes out. And then I'll be glad to get these. They've been sat around in a box for a while. I've just primed. I need to get them done because I want to get them sorted out. So we'll get all those painted up. What we'll do next week, I don't know. We might crack on with these guys. It depends where we're up to. We might be back onto the Taurox. It might be that I've painted these guys and I'm sorting out the bases. You never know. Could be doing something like that. Or putting decals on something. Looks like Dr. Doom, says Tony Blackwell. Oh, I never thought of that. He's a whole squad of Dr. Dooms. I'll put some bronze and brass colours on there. I'll steampunk him up a little bit. Let's just see what I'm doing on the chat. Oh, individual tank tracks, says Tony Blackwell. Yeah. So next week we'll say, not sure what we'll be doing. Maybe we'll carry on with these. I might, from this point on now, once we've got all these green parts painted on all the other guys, all of them, many of them, it's mostly detail painting. I'll have to do that close up. So that might be something I do next Saturday. before we get to the show. So I might be doing the basic, or I might go back to the Torox. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to be doing the Mortarion on a live stream, purely because I want to do that as a build series. There is a possibility that I might be getting the subscription thing, the Warhammer Conquest subscription thing. Possibility. And if so, I'll probably do that as little regular videos as well. Maybe once a month I'll go through and paint up all the dudes. Or I might just make that, that might fold into the live stream coverage, because it goes on for a year and a half or something, so that'll give me lots of stuff to do. That's a possibility. It's not guaranteed yet. It's a possibility. So you can see I've got some of the figures, but they're not painted yet. I've not even started on them. But yeah, I think we're going to leave it there. So hopefully you've enjoyed today. It's a bit chaotic today. All went a bit wrong in places. There you go. So don't forget, as always, of course, if you want to win that awesome French tank, then you need to put a comment on this show. Once the live stream is finished, put a comment on the show and just give me an awesome and potentially factually correct, if you want, but amusing fact about France. Keep it polite. And I will pull the winner next week. If you've won a sticker today, or if you won the big FX kit, drop me an email, fox@modelmakingguru.com. There's the address. With your name, address, and tell me what you won. Tell me if you got a sticker or the kit. If you won the kit, I'll need your phone number as well, just in case for shipping. And don't panic, I will hopefully be getting everything shipped out in the next week or two. Again, as I said at the start, I tend to leave it to the end of the month, Patreon payday. As always, don't forget to pop along to the Model Makers Boom Hut if you're not already a member. Facebook.com/groups/Model Boom Hut. The best group for model makers, the best place online to hang out and talk about models. Everybody there is dead nice, dead friendly, dead supportive. There's no bitchy, no snarky. We don't allow it. And of course, if you want to keep the channel supported, then do please feel free to pop along to my Patreon page, patreon.com/modelmakingguru. You can help support this channel from anything up to $1 upwards a month, as much as little as you like, and there's rewards for everyone. Or if you want just something temporary, you can just do a tip to streamlabs.com/modelmakingguru. But I think that's going to do us for this week. So thank you so much to everyone who's joined me. As always, had a great time this week. Hang out with you guys in chat. Don't forget to send me questions to do for the questions and answer giveaway thing if you want to. Fox@modelmakingguru.com. I've got quite a few now to ask, but we can keep working through those. I can't think there's anything else I need to let you know. Don't forget me, Ted and Chris, potentially Ted, on the eModels live stream tomorrow, 9 PM Mondays for eModels on the eModels channel. They'll post a link up on their page tomorrow, and we'll post it up in the Boom Hut and other places. If you're a patron and you're not aware of it, as I said before, there is a Patreon exclusive Discord. Either pop me a message on Patreon or just have a browse through the front page, go through the posts. There's a link there to get to the Patreon exclusive Discord. I will be spending my time hanging out in the Patreon Discord from now on. I'm going to leave the not going to leave the Boom Hut one, but that's more a place for the people in the Boom Hut to hang out and just be chilled and hang out and do their thing. I'll dip in there from time to time, but I'm going to spend most of my Discord time now in the Patreon Discord servers. So if you want to hang out, ask me any questions, do feel free to come along. I can't think of anything else I was going to tell you. Was there anything else? Nope, can't remember. The third episode of the Strike Rouge build is now up on my channel for patrons. It'll be up for everybody else next Friday. And I did a little video how to spray with Citadel paints. Again, that's up on my channel now for patrons, and it will be up for everybody else next Saturday. So keep an eye open for those, and we'll get more content coming up. But until next time, thanks very much everybody for watching. I've forgotten again that while I'm doing all this waffling, I should be getting all the music and stuff ready for later on, but I always forget every single damn time. But yes, thank you everybody for watching. George, again, congratulations. You're not with us because you've gone now, but congratulations on getting your wedding yesterday. Hope it all went well. And to everybody else, take care of yourselves. Go make something. I need a great big wee now. I need to go for a great. I need to shut up because I need to go for a massive wee. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, amoeba.